Hey everyone, and welcome to this new episode of People Drink Words, the podcast where we drink words, but not only. I am your host, Jean-Dominique, and today's guest used our 24-hour cycles as a Beyonce or Jay-Z hood, just maximizing them by working on a demanding day job as senior marketing officer, while running a business on the side, like a business has been featured on various outlets like BBC Radio 1, Time Out London, and so on. So if you're listening to this episode, you know her name already. She's the founder of the Rec Room. I give you Joyce Peters.
Yay! Wait.
Oh, yes, you can. So we're going to be cheating a little bit today. So we won't start straight with the main drink. We will start with some beer to warm up and then jump into the whiskey. So we have some single malt Glenmorangie original 10-year-old. Oh, that's cool. So I discovered that whiskey back in Scotland. It's pretty nice.
It is good.
Smoky enough, and yeah. Alright, so let's just get started. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself, Joyce?
Okay, cool. First of all, thank you for that lovely intro. It's kind of weird to hear like your friend describe you. But what about me? Okay, I guess the main thing to know about me is that I'm obsessed with food. It's sort of my main priority in life. What else? I'm from London. I work in marketing. I am the founder of Rec Room, which is, if you don't know what Rec Room is, it is a rage room.
Oh wait, is the wave picking you up? Kind of. Well, that's fine, let's keep going. Nope.
Should I do this?
Yeah, a little closer will work. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, so Rec Room is a rage room, and a rage room is a space where you can go and smash things up. So in the Rec Room, you get to pick some music, you get to pick your weapons, and we give you crockery, plates, cups, ornaments, and a bigger item like a laptop or a TV, and you get to smash it up in the safety of our space, and it's really fun.
I actually like that concept, and there's a thing, like I looked at it a couple of days ago, like just to book one over the summer, and I'm wondering, like as you know, like I'm going to be moving out soon, can we bring stuff like, say, a desk there?
Yes.
Bring a desk and can just bring the desk, rage smash it, so let's don't take it with us in our new place. Like,
yes,
all right.
definitely.
Oh, that's cool.
I welcome people that bring their own stuff to smash. Are we allowed to swear on your podcast?
Yes, you can. That's like Martha's Mature rated like stuff on Spotify. So yes, you can swear on this.
I'll use my fruity language.
All right.
Also, thank you for letting us cheat. It's a very hot day today, and after my very long journey, all I wanted was like a nice cold beer before hitting the hard stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, I mean, yeah, you don't know what time it is, but it's like about 3:30. It's sunny in London, surprisingly, and yeah, we're recording this podcast of being outside enjoying the sun, which, well, the podcast is going to be as fun as the sun anyways. We don't need the sun, it's overrated. So...
Do you know what the real answer was? What time is it? Beer o'clock. I don't know why I'm being so cheesy.
Anytime is beer o'clock anyways. Anytime is any booze o'clock. That's why we have that podcast where we drink and just say things. So yeah, actually that brings me to that second episode I recorded last week, which is that topic like about, well, talking about kind of women's freedom being taken away in Alabama, and there's more states passing that some law around it. So yeah, you're a woman, and that's because as a man, I spoke about that thing.
Yeah.
So I want to hear a bit more like what you'd have to say about something like that, like these laws that ban abortions, which is less freedom to women than they used to have back in the days. But...
Well, okay, so I have a few thoughts about this. One of my sort of main concerns is the way that this is argued is on a kind of moral basis, that actually abortion is healthcare. It's something that women need medically for many reasons. And the idea that, you know, in America they're talking about it based on kind of values or health, like it's not based on like actual practical life. And so women will die, people will suffer, and people, you know, that is kind of my main concern. That's the thing I'm really worried about.
And so I think there's no exception for rape, incest, and stuff like that. So that's where there's no exception at all, apart from if the woman is gonna die, like if you're sure she's gonna die if she doesn't carry on the abortion. That's the one case where that's the one you can abort.
But I mean, and what about women? And this happens in other countries. There are women who have miscarriages or lose their babies, and they're prosecuted and they're imprisoned, wrongfully so, because someone has decided, or some people have decided that they've actually done it on purpose. And I just kind of think, what is the end goal here? What is the end goal for getting rid of something which is of value, not just to women, but to family? Most women that are having abortions are not, teenage girls who are accidentally getting pregnant. A lot of these women already have children. They can't have any more. They can't afford to have more children. They can't, in their family setup, it doesn't work. And it doesn't just work not for them, but it doesn't work for their partners as well. Women aren't just getting pregnant and having babies on their own. Men are involved in this, and a lot of this seems like a punishment for women who are having sex. And the idea is that if you're in, I don't know, a relationship or a marriage or something like that, then you just want to have as many babies as possible. And that's not the case. And so they're kind of building this argument based on like not reality. And we're not even getting onto the fact that women should have a choice, women should be able to have a choice, as men do, as to whether they want their body to go through that process and whether they want to bring up a child. It's 2019. We don't live in the dark ages, and I just want to know. It infuriates me because I'm thinking, what is the end goal for this? And when they start taking away, if I was an American person living in America, I would be worried that rights that I thought were secure are no longer secure, because if they're taking away hard fought for rights, this is the start.
Yeah, like what comes next? That's more where you're going.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Yeah, that's the funny thing. Funny thing. Where would you go from there? Say, okay, take abortion away from women. I'm not saying them taking the vote. Like that would be an extreme word. Where okay, women, you can't vote anymore. Oh yes. Well, yeah, that'd be weird. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, I can. I can imagine it. I just feel like it's kind of Handmaid's Tale, just becoming reality. And it's sad. I think we all of us that don't agree, have to really start thinking seriously about the things that are important to us. I've always said that I wouldn't live in a country where I don't have access to abortion, or me or any other woman have access to abortion, because for me that's kind of a very important bottom line. Not to say that I kind of want to run out and do it every day, but the idea that I live in a place that thought about women's rights in that way, if I had a choice, I wouldn't. And to think that there are now loads of women. And also, let's not forget that what usually happens in these scenarios is that people say one thing and do another. So also in the States, you have a lot of anti-gay rhetoric. And a lot of the time, the same people who are anti people being gay themselves dabble or are gay themselves. And so it's an element of one rule for me, one rule for you, because I'm sure if they have the money, they will find a way to access these services. So let's say Senator whatever, let's say his daughter is 15 or 16 and accidentally gets pregnant. What's he going to do? I'm sure if he wants to, he'll go for it, but he'll be able to because he'll have the connections and the ability. It just penalises people that don't have that. And so it, again, is like a power trip. I don't know. I just think that I'm always like, to what end? And also, these people that they have a heartbeat bill, because they care about a baby from the time it has a heartbeat. But as soon as those children are born, do they care about them? Do they provide food for them?
Or whatever.
Exactly. Do they help parents that can't afford to feed their children? No. Do they penalise parents that can't afford to feed their children? Yes. Do they help mothers get back to work? No. So it's like a hypocrisy, because they want all these children to be born, but as soon as they're born, they don't care about them anyway. So it's just like me. It's all confused. It's not real. It's not based on the benefit of anyone.
Yeah, it's like life is sacred, but then we're gonna maintain death penalty in the same state. We're like, oh no, life is sacred, like from before it's even a person or like a baby. Like, oh no, we can kill it afterwards. Like before it's sacred, it's like kind of pure because we haven't touched it. It hasn't been touched by the world yet. But as soon as it's out there, like, yep, you're gonna be poor, you're gonna be miserable, and then you're gonna die in a jail. Exactly,
you're gonna be born to suffer.
Yeah.
Are we gonna help the parents? So there are mothers that have been prosecuted in the States for neglecting, I'm doing air quotes here, their children, when in reality they've had to go to work and they may have left their child at the park or left their child to wait round the corner. And obviously that's not ideal, but they don't really have a proper benefit system in the States. So people have to find a way to put food on the table. So, and those
True.
women get punished, and then those women go to jail or whatever, and then what happens to these children that must be born? And it's not to say that
It's not that all the children get abortion.
Yeah, or that only people that are low income use abortion, but it basically affects different people in different ways. But I want to see them put as much energy into helping children that are already alive as they are for these heartbeats that they profess to think mean that, baby must live. Because it's not really about that. And that's the point.
That's the funny thing. Like, you mentioned that hypothetical about that wife, a senator, has his daughter getting accidentally pregnant. And yeah, it definitely go for the abortion, but it's actually one of the guys who pushed for that bill in Alabama was his mistress, who exposed him because literally the day before, he told her that she should get an abortion when she said afterward it was kind of a prank on him to like tell him that she was pregnant. It's like, go get an abortion. He didn't even wait 24 hours to double check if she was actually pregnant, go do anything. It's like, get an abortion now. But at the same time, it's like, oh, we need to pass a bill that no abortion can happen in Alabama. And the thing is that what he told her to justify what he said is that, well, I don't really believe it. I'm just reading, like, it's the staff who wrote the text. I'm just reading it. I'm like, wait a second. You're not just reading it. I looked a bit further into that guy, and turns out he's been pushing anti-abortion laws for a long time, like easily 10 years. But he says, oh, the staff is writing that. That's how he justifies his mistress. He has to abort, an unborn child, like, what's the name? Imaginary unborn child. Yeah. By saying, oh, I'm just reading what the staff gives me. Like, what my staff that I pay gives me. I'm just reading the text they say. And like, oh, anti-abortion.
No, I mean, he's using a topic which means a lot to a certain group of people, and like the president, who did not care about this issue before, and then, cares about it now because there are a certain group of powerful people that support them, that want to push it forward. And that's also really important to note. The majority of Americans don't want such a draconian law to go through, even if they're quite conservative around the issue. Most people would at least expect that you can access the service if you are a victim of sexual violence or, incest or something like that.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, why not? Why would you want to condemn someone to have to suffer? I mean...
they do that quite a lot, like in the jail system. I don't know a lot about it, but from what I perceive from documentaries and stuff like that, they don't mind other suffering as it's not them. Like, if you have to go to jail, then maybe you think, okay, we need to change, like, how the prisoners' healthcare is handled and stuff like that. But when it's not affecting you, you don't care. Like, I mean, that's the same for all kind of issues. I'm not going to care about abortion that much until it's become something a little closer to me. And now I'm like, okay, it's closer to me because I'm gonna, I'm aiming at having children at some point. I'll start being able to control how many children and when I get them. So now I'm caring more about abortion because it's getting closer to me. And I think that maybe the guys pushing these laws to go through are too far from the issue to, like, I would say, they are too far from the consequences to take it too hard to fight for abortion to be a right for women rather than a right taken away.
Well, I do agree on that. I think if you think about and I just hate saying his name, so I'm not going to, but the President of the United States, he's really far away from abortion. It's not really going to affect him. And
I'd find a way to get babies aborted. I just ship them to Russia or something.
Or but it's not personally going to touch him. I think sometimes men think, I don't know exactly how men think about abortion, but sometimes I get the sense they feel like it's either not a big deal or I don't know, like it's just whatever. And I think that I don't know, I've never had to do it, but I think that, but if you have to consider it as a thing that you might have to do yourself to your own body, I think it's also not something that people just do light-heartedly or like very flippantly. It's like...
Oh no, definitely not. Like, that's the funny thing, like there are people, I have an acquaintance who says that she can't wait to be pregnant so that she can have an abortion. And clearly she's never had to get anywhere near an abortion. Like to me, the same level of ignorance as someone who says, okay, it's not a big deal, just do it. Or don't do it, it's sacred. Not a friend, but like somebody I know said that.
That's such a weird thing to say.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a second. I'm hoping that was a joke, but that didn't sound like a joke, so I'm thinking that's wrong. That's just plain wrong, and that actually giving fuel to people who try to or are fighting to take that right away. To have people who are just, winging it like it's not a big deal. That's the thing. If it's not a big deal, then what stops any legislator to say, okay, let's just take that away because it's not a big deal anyways?
I think that just sounds like really naive because, there are many. I've known people who've said, oh, not like sort of now, but like definitely when I was younger, if I get pregnant, I'll definitely have an abortion. But when it comes to it, it's a hard decision and not everyone's going to do it. So for her to say that in the heat, like if it ever happens to her, but I hope she never has to be in a situation where she has to make that kind of choice. But it won't be as easy just like.
Oh, definitely not. And that's the thing. Like you have to talk to a lot of people to see psychologists to make sure that you actually want to go through with it. So it's not like a 2 seconds, go get a pill and you're done. You have actually a whole process to get started. That can be expensive depending on where you live as well. So that's definitely not, I would say. It's not something that's light. It's not something light. It's something that's heavy, with heavy consequences, whether you go through it or not. So yeah, actually I spoke a lot about it last week, so I'm going to slow down that. But if you want to say more, that's...
No, I think that... I think you might think, oh, it's happening in America, it doesn't affect us here, but there's something happening now where my friend and I were having a discussion the other day, and she said this thing which I kind of really agree with. When we were young, we kind of had this idea that things just kind of were getting better and better, and we make progress, but things are actually going backwards, and it never occurred to us, we didn't realise that actually you could make like a couple of steps forward, aka Obama, and then just go way backwards, aka the current president. And that's happening not just in America but here as well. And I think that when things happen in the States, they affect affect like the whole world. And when you have it kind of sets the standard of what like a modern democracy should be doing. And when a modern democracy is taking away people's rights and going back to the dark ages, then countries that are trying to achieve or still striving for that kind of modern democracy, what's their kind of motive to make any change? What's their motive to change their laws so then there's more equality or whatever? So I think it is something that we should discuss, and I'm kind of happy to talk about it. But we can transition into something.
Yeah. I mean, no, we can stick to it. Like if you have more to say, but you should definitely just stay in that area and just bring more into it. Like the thing about America is that it has such a huge impact on the world in terms of culture. Like we all watch American series, listen to American singers, and like everything that happens there is going to impact us, not just because of the news cycle being focused on them. Like whenever they start a war or anything like that, we're going to talk about them first, and then the rest of the world. And when we're not doing that, we're just watching American series. So everything that happens there gets reflected in their art, which will be music, movies, and so on. And we watch that, so it's going to impact all of us in the end.
Yeah, they export culture. And I remember when I was doing my master's, I did an MA in gender studies.
Yeah.
I did a class on diasporas, and we had to read something about kind of immigrant communities in Sweden, and one of the things that came out in whatever it was that we read, to discuss it, and it was that was a really important class for me. And out of all the classes I did, I remember a lot of what we discussed in those lessons, because we had to do the reading because the teacher really checked, and so I read everything and we discussed it. But there was something around kind of black communities in Sweden, and a kind of really looking to America for an idea on black culture, because there wasn't such a history of it there. And it really kind of highlighted, I don't think Americans really understand that, do they understand that when they are just acting like themselves, let's say African Americans, when they're acting like themselves, that people are using that as a blueprint of what it means to be black. That was what was happening in those communities. And obviously that's massive. And at one time, you can feel kind of not empowered in your situation. You can feel like, okay, in my country, I don't have the power. I am just kind of powerless. But in another setting, you were still, from your position, exporting your culture to another part of the world, and that is so powerful, and you have such an influence over that. And that really struck me. as kind of, you can be like one of the like two things at once, like powerless but also super powerful to influence. And I just don't think we forget, I think, how much American culture is absorbed by all of us. And so if things are going tits up over there, we need to watch ourselves for everywhere else.
Yeah, that's true. Like, but the thing that the people living there, they won't know how much impact they have. They'll just think that they're kind of there doing their own thing, getting their Big Macs, getting some beers, getting drunk, and like having those frat parties.
Frat party.
I don't know about you, like I haven't seen any frat parties. Nothing similar there. Maybe attempts to mimic it when I was in school, or like having also spring breaks as well. Like trying to do the same as we see in American movies. But I don't think it's part of the culture in Europe. But we're trying to embrace these things, like the whole what's the name? Diploma ceremony when you get a diploma in, and just going, like the whole throwing your hats up. I never had any of that apart from my.
Is that American? I thought that was British.
I have no idea. Like to me, it's always been something I saw in American movies.
I threw my hat up.
I threw my hat up, but like we weren't supposed to have hats. That's because the interest like last second.
The mortarboard, I think.
Mortarboard.
Mortarboard. That's what it's called. I think.
Oh, is that? Oh, there's a name for this.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a name for.
The square one with the tassel.
Oh yeah. That's, we had some of those. And like, oh, that's weird. Like we're in France, we don't do that. And
no, I
so
think
that's
we
did.
Do it here. I think that's. I don't think that's American.
I always thought it was American. Like, although it's been exported so long ago, you don't know that it's not American.
But then, where would they have got it from?
True, they did come from here.
Yeah.
They did come from
here. They came from like... Aren't there any French ones that went over?
Maybe a couple. But I don't think that was the majority. That was mostly English, like British, Irish went there.
And there was like a Dutch. Was it Dutch?
A Dutch guy?
Yeah. I don't know.
Nah, I have no idea.
History.
Yeah, I'm not that good at it. Like, the most I know about American history is what I saw in Hamilton. Yeah. So, yeah, that's that's about
it. I really enjoyed Hamilton. And so I'm not like... I don't know lots about kind of whatever musicals, but I really liked it. And I listened to the soundtrack all the time. It's the only soundtrack I've kind of listened to. It's really fun, yeah.
Even listen to like the remix one with like what's it, Busta Rhymes and
what? There's a Busta Rhymes
on Spotify.
remix?
Yeah, on Spotify, like for My Shot, you get to a version with Busta Rhymes and other singers. You have another song from Wiz Khalifa, like Washington's on Your Side.
Oh.
Yeah, like they did a few things which I didn't know about. Oh wow, all this music based off Hamilton. Like, yeah, I'll share it with you after that. Yeah, it's really nice. Like, I enjoyed this. And yeah, what else? So Hamilton. So what else did you watch? Like, you watch other musicals here? Or?
So actually, recently I've seen. I saw Hamilton. That was amazing. And I saw Dream Girls. I don't know why I'm singing.
Oh, I heard about it, but I don't know. Like, that's only if it's my style. But all musical might work for anyone. So.
I mean, people that say they don't like musicals, it's like saying you don't like ice cream or I don't know, whatever.
Okay, maybe not that far. Like, I've seen musicals that I've enjoyed. Like, I love The Lion King.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's like heart, like love.
And you get like sort of childhood memories of watching the movie.
Yeah.
And I do like the pre-prepared version of the musical better than the animated one.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So. When you were a child watching Lion King, did anyone fancy Simba?
Fancy Simba? Yeah. As in romantically fancying Simba?
Sort of, yeah.
No. No, we don't do that. Like, did you fancy Simba?
No, but I remember being at like a sleepover and everyone was like, "Oh, Simba, we love him." But like...
Well, like romantically, like that's bestiality in some countries.
No, but no, they didn't want to do
JD. I'm double checking. Like they fancy Simba. That's
but obviously he had like a human persona.
Yeah, a speaking animal. So, like, I mean,
it's like loving Baloo the bear.
Yeah, but not romantically.
Well, I mean, we were children, so it's like how romantic can a child be? Also, fun fact.
Fairly romantic, I'd say.
I was Baloo the bear in a school play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, can you imagine?
No. I need some pictures of that. Like, I'm going to need to see that.
I was like the skinniest Baloo the bear and I was so fucking pissed off. But
yeah, how'd you end up being Baloo the bear?
So it was like our year 6 performance and all the girls got like really nice parts, and my teacher was like, "Here, you can be Baloo the bear," and everyone made fun of me, obviously. Because...
Wait, nice parts. Like, what other nice parts did you have for girls in Jungle Book? In the Jungle Book.
So we weren't even doing the whole Jungle Book. We were doing parts of Disney. Disney stories. So
everyone get like Disney princesses, and you get Baloo the bear.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that sucks.
I just don't think the teacher really thought it through. In my school, there was maybe like 3 black girls, and in my year, maybe there was 2 of us, and one of us was Baloo the bear.
Wow.
And
so like, if you're black back then, like 30% to be Baloo the bear.
Yeah. I kind of feel like could have been like a boy, and the teacher was like, "Joyce, it's actually a really good role," and I was like. Yeah, I mean, fine.
It is like it's a big role if you like think about the animated movie or even the book itself. Like it's a main role.
Yeah.
But still, it's a bear.
Yeah. And I was wearing a brown leotard and brown like tights. I've actually blocked a lot of this out. All I remember is being told I was Baloo the bear and being so sad. And like being like, oh my god, and everyone being like, haha, you're Baloo the bear, everyone there.
Yeah, pretty sure be the hint for the teacher at that point. Like, okay, maybe that was a bad call.
Yeah, but I did go to the teacher and say, why am I Baloo the bear? And he was just like, whatever. And I remember we let's deal with it.
Whatever, get lost, kids.
Yeah. And there was another. Do you remember? Well, you wouldn't actually not remember. Actually, I don't think you guys celebrate. So do you remember VE Day? I don't know what you call it in France.
Okay, describe what that is.
So it's like, I think it was like 50 years, like, after the war. The Second World War.
50s after World War II, okay, so I was probably like 4.
So I was like 5, and, I was 5, I was 5. But we had a celebration at school.
Yep.
And, part of that was we had to dress up like the 40s, which was fun. And we had to bring in food, and my mum, who was a working single parent, had no time for my nonsense. But I was like, Mum, we have to make loaded potato skins. And my mum, you'll give me a confused look, exactly.
Yeah,
she was like,
World War II loaded potato skins. Yeah, of course.
It didn't make sense.
Actually, I don't know what they eat then.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I would just, sometimes when I was at school, they would say like, it's book day, and I would just take it as an opportunity to do what I wanted. And so I wanted to make.
So that was a you idea to bring back the load.
Yeah. And I had found this recipe in like probably like Girl Talk magazine, which was the only magazine I was allowed to read. And so I was like, Mum, I would make this, and she was like, okay. So she like, even though I think she was thinking, why are we making potato skins?
Yeah,
it making sense. So we made that, and we all sat outside in these long like trestle tables, and that was really fun. But we had to do a little dance, like a kind of jive dance. I think at the beginning of the dance, I think I was lying down on the floor, and I just had this memory of my teacher saying, "Oh, Joyce, you look like Naomi Campbell, the supermodel."
Yeah,
and everyone was like, "No, she doesn't. She's ugly. She's this. She's that." And I was like, God.
Our children.
The teacher was just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
And the kids were like not having any of it. I remember thinking, oh, why did he just not say anything?
Yeah. We're just gonna tear it down and like that's it. It's done. Oh, that's children sucks anyway. Like so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's me. Like we all assholes when we were kids, and then we learn to be a little better.
Yeah.
Oh, children. Yeah, I'm gonna look when I get 1 or 2, I'm just gonna lock them away, like responsible, and teach them life, but away from other children. So
no, that's not a good idea.
Yeah. It did work for Rapunzel. Like she was a fine young girl.
Rapunzel.
Yeah.
What do you call her? Rapunzel.
In French, we say
Rapunzel.
Oh, réponse. That's the French name is réponse, which is
réponse.
Yeah, which like it's a name.
Rapunzel.
Nobody has it, but like it's there.
I quite like Rapunzel. It sounds like Duracell.
Duracell. Yeah, saying some like placing what's the name? Batteries.
Yeah, in her.
Not sponsored. Obviously not sponsored. Unfortunately. Yeah.
But retrospective sponsorship.
Yep. Like I'm available. Just let me know. There's an email address on the website. So yeah, jump in.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, Rapunzel. No, Baloo the bear. That's where we were.
Me so worried. I don't know why.
Oh, you had songs.
I think so. Again, I've also got a really bad memory, and I just remember the pain I felt knowing I had to be Baloo the bear, being told it was a good role, thinking, right, fuck it, I'll like be a child
the
version
best Baloo
of
the bear.
I'm going to just really be the best Baloo the bear. And I was. Me and my leotard were fantastic.
That's good. Like that, I mean, that's how it should be with anything in life. Like, you get given something that's like, oh, it's not that great. Like, oh, well, I can turn that around and make it work.
I actually think that is something that I've done, like, all my life, probably.
Yeah, it's pretty mature that you'd be able to do that even as a child, like, back then.
Yeah.
And then you just carried on doing that.
Yeah. I think I was quite a mature child. I was quite self-sufficient.
Yeah.
So I think I allowed myself to be a bit sort of sad, but not for too long, because I had to, like, quickly get rid of it.
Like, bounce back and come back smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's healthy to give yourself some time to be sad and just feel your sadness, and then you can actually move on from it instead of just burying it. Like, that's the risk if you don't really express, like, how sad you are, how angry you are, how anything.
Yeah.
Then it just stays, and I feel like it impairs you.
Yeah.
And you can just come back later on, like, for something casual. Oh, I don't know. Like, somebody says a wrong word in the office that you don't like. And because of something that happened to you at home, like, oh shit, I broke a plate. You can just snap at that person and just like, well, fuck off, sir.
Yeah.
I almost said something that I probably shouldn't say. Even though it's what's the name? Rated R podcast.
Were you going to say salope?
No. Way worse. So I'm like, okay, that's the one thing I should not say. I'm gonna hold myself back and not say it. But yes, like, basically that's the risk. Like, when you don't express what you have less control on how you behave with people outside as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really important to let things go.
Okay, it depends what you mean by let things go.
Well, I think people, what I've seen in life, right? People will hurt you or upset you, and do horrible things, right?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Like, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, and I think being able to forgive and move on is so important, because life is long if you're lucky, and if you're collecting kind of gripes against people, you just hold them in with you, then as you get older, you just become bitter. And one of my kind of things in life is I do not want to be bitter. I don't want to be old and bitter. You know, I want to be happy. And
which is a good thing to strive for. Like, you don't want to think about all the things that upset you through your life. Right?
No. And, you know, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. And I think, like, forgiving someone and moving on is so beautiful. You know, when someone forgives you for something, if you do something wrong, or if you hurt someone, whether you've done it on purpose or not, and they forgive you and then you move on, you know, I think that lots of people carry around a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, and they don't process, like you say, they just keep it locked up, and then it comes out at work, or it comes out, even on my way here, after I went to get the beers, there was a woman shouting at her kids, and I mean, I'm sure her kids are annoying, but I just felt like she probably she's pissed off anyway. Like, I'm sure a lot of things have happened. It's all building up, and
oh yes, definitely,
it's just coming out there, and you know, I've done it myself, where I've, you know, held on to things or haven't properly got stuff out of my system, and it's just come out later. And you can't just do it once, and like, it's a lifelong thing, and there'll be some things that stick more than others, but I think it's really important to me that I don't end up bitter when I'm old, and you know, at a different stage in my life, and lots of things have happened to me. I want to be happy, and all the older people that I know that are happy, they don't carry shit with them. You know, they let go.
Yeah, which
like, whatever. Even if people don't apologise to you, because it doesn't. The only person you really hurt is yourself. Like, you carry around anger.
Like, no one's going to care about you anymore. Like, they did their thing, or like, intentionally or not, as you said, and then maybe they moved on. Like, they won't even remember you. But 20 years later, if you're still there, you're like, oh, damn you bastard from 20 years ago. Like, cut me off on the road, something like that. So, like, it's done. It's like just chilling on the sun or bed. Like, it's not be caring. So yeah, you're just hurting yourself in the end, which is sad. Like, that's not a place where you want. I don't want to be there. Like, as you said, a place of bitterness where you just think about stuff that happened a while ago that doesn't affect you today, and the only way that, well, it affects you, but it only affects you because you're affecting yourself with it. So yeah, definitely not the thing worth doing. When there's so many things to do, like recording a podcast or
Yeah, exactly.
drinking, or do
Should
both
we-
at the same time.
Should we like crack open this?
Yes, let's just jump into the whiskey.
Okay, I'm gonna serve the
Alright.
ice. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I think you can hear the ice on the... Alright. So let's open the little gland.
Look at that.
Alright.
Okay, so while you do that, can I ask you a question?
Oh yeah, you can ask me a question.
Okay, first of all, sorry, I put 2 ice cubes in.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Actually, I only have 1, or I would have like some nice spring water, but it's a hot day. So...
Water?
Yeah, some nice like Highland Spring.
Ah. Maybe you won't feel the heat with that.
Thank you.
Drop more.
That's okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's not get hammered right away. Like, let's record. Oh, we're already on the closer to the 40 minutes mark.
Oh really?
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Cheers.
So cheers.
Or would you say France Top Santé?
Santé, yeah. Let's say santé, yeah.
Do you know there's a magazine called Top Santé?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we probably do have that.
It's like a ladies magazine.
It kind of rings a bell. I'm trying to think like where I heard that before.
So whenever people say Santé, I always think Top Santé, like a magazine.
Which means like top health as well. Like, it translates from French.
Yeah.
I actually like the smell of that whiskey. Like, I really like the...
So I've been rewatching Mad Men this week.
Yeah?
And all they do is like grab drinks and smoke cigarettes. I'm like, ice, drinks, cigarettes,
Yeah.
ice, drinks, cigarettes.
Which is not the
Fancy
worst way to live. Like, pantsuit, ice, drink, cigarettes. Like,
Yeah.
I do that all day. If there wasn't like all the consequences of smoking too much or drinking too
Yeah.
much.
Ice, drinks. It's kind of mesmerising. I kind of like really want to do all those things. And
Yeah.
it's so funny because I've been watching it the second time.
Yeah.
I think whenever you watch a series the second time that you've watched throughout and like love, it's funny how there's loads of stuff that I remember,
Mm-hmm.
but the way that I remember it isn't actually how it was.
Oh, really? Like, I mean, I'm 100% surprised, and I know like the brain, that's its own thing. Like when there's a bit like maybe missing, it's gonna kind of rearrange them to kind of work better with us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I know my memories now. Like I'm remembering things a certain way, but I'm pretty sure if somebody actually put a camera in my head to record this back then, they'll be completely different.
It's not put a camera in your head.
Yeah. Well, probably at some point that will happen. Like Black Mirror was already showing us that.
If someone put a camera
Yeah.
in your head, I can just imagine like dun, 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 maths,
Yeah, with a little soundtrack as well. Yeah, not that many maths. I'm not that much. Oh yes, you probably hear that
JD,
in my
are you
head.
listening?
Yes.
JD is the best.
Yeah. I'm probably just singing to myself all day in my head. Like, yeah. Yeah, I totally see myself in that. Like, there's a little music of me walking around and like, singing to my own glory of me. Yeah, I totally do that. I need to write a song to me. I do it someday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to learn how to play guitar again because now I'm shit.
Could you play?
Once upon a time, I could play one song.
Okay.
And yeah. But I use like my little sister's guitar, which is back in Paris, and I don't want to take it away even though she doesn't play anymore.
Yeah. Get your own.
And now she actually moved. Well, I got one like for cheap, but it's actually there.
Mm-hmm.
And well, the chords are not recorded well and they're kind of shit. So I need to
Also,
buy another one.
It looks like the string is broken.
Yeah, that too. So I want to buy it. Well, it's cool. I got it like 3 years ago. I'm still carrying it around just in case. Like, okay, maybe I'm just gonna go and buy strings. Someday I'm just gonna get back to it, but then I don't. I keep it there. I don't feel like throwing it away. But I need to go to a proper shop and then buy a proper one.
No, I don't think you need to go and buy a really expensive guitar.
Not expensive, but like just one that has chords that work.
No, you have to create the chords with your fingers.
How do I create chords? That's the.
I
I go kill a horse and grab the hair and then I make my own chords.
No, as in you have to. I don't know. I'm actually not the person to talk about this. I'm not a guitar mistress, but I think you can have a shit guitar and you can learn the basics. There's no point like spending money on an expensive guitar.
Oh,
that's going to be next to the guitar that you already have.
Oh yeah, no, like the money's not the price. More like the. Yeah, no, it's really the guitar itself. Like you can't record it because the chords are not right. As in, I can't hear the recording when I'm trying to record it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna give up. I'm gonna leave it alone and try another one. Because I tried with one of my friends. Like, okay, let me see if I can record your guitar. And like, oh, okay, so I can still hear properly the recording. It's just that my guitar is too shit for me to do that. Maybe a genius guitarist could be able to
Can
make
you
it
sing?
work. Sing? No. I think I can really sing. Like, I can do like anyone in the shower, like just say words with some rhythm, but that's it.
You know what I want to do? I want to find my voice.
Yeah?
I'd love to have a singing lesson. Just to, like all singers, like famous ones or like not famous ones, they have their sound, they have whatever their voice is.
Oh, right, I see what you mean. Like,
So
find the right way of singing that works for you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that you don't force, like, on someone else's style.
Yeah, because I can sing along to anything. Well, not anything. I sing along to things. But I would love to know what is my voice.
Actually, that's a good thing to figure out.
Yeah.
Like, we should do that too at some point. Like.
Yeah. I'd love that. And I actually think, so I've been thinking about this week, because, so I would say that I am, I actually feel like the whiskey has just hit.
Really? Oh.
I think it's just combined with
yeah,
the beer.
actually the ice instantly melt. It's just gone.
But it's like the beer and the whiskey are now taking over my body. But anyway, so I would say that, well, it's really weird when you base like life ideas on your own existence. But basically, for me, I think everyone needs to have a creative outlet, and for me, that's dancing and cooking. They're the ways I express myself.
Which is more than most people. Like, you already have two outlets.
Yeah, but for a long time, I would think, oh, I'm a creative person with no outlet because I couldn't sing and draw and do and like playing music, whatever, play an instrument. But I do like singing. I don't think I'm particularly good, but that's not really the point. I think it's really good to kind of get stuff out.
Oh yes, definitely. If you want to, just do it and then see how it works out.
Yeah, and when I was younger, especially when I was at uni, and I had like my own space that no one was going to come into. Like when you're at home, there's always like someone or whatever, or like when you like live with your friends. And I used to just sing like at the top of my lungs and really get it out. And I used to dance as well, and I really miss that. I don't like today, for example. I really need to dance. I've been listening to these songs. I've been making up choreography in my mind. I just need to move my body.
Okay, so you're ready to go and express, dance and sing, and all right.
And but I think that then I say I think we all need to do that, but maybe I need to do that.
I think it's everyone thing like that. We need to just do things. Like, we don't like to do nothing. Like to just stay home. Well I enjoy staying home and watching Netflix.
Is your expression?
Oh yes, that's definitely the way that I'm expressing. Along with my blog that I didn't touch in like 5 months.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because that's the funny thing with that blog. It's like, I express myself through it, as in technically like software dev. I write code. I write technical blog posts. Well, more or less technical recently. And that one post is actually my most popular post ever. And like just with that, I managed to get like as many reads as the whole of last year with like the 15 posts I had last year. And then I didn't write anything since, but it's already equaled that, like after 5 months of just that. And I find it kind of weird that I had a few drafts, like of different things, but I end up building them and I feel like, okay, maybe that post was too popular for me to just think, okay, I need to come up with something that's going to be as good or better. But like a couple of days ago, I decided to give up on that. Like, let's just do what I'm doing usually. Just write the thing and see how it works. Because that post, it got popular, but when I wrote it, I'm like, okay, that's going to be some post where I'm just talking some stuff that might make sense to some people, might be crazy bullshit to others. And so I was surprised by the response to it. It seems to have put more pressure on me, like on my writing. So I kind of left it alone or like let it drift. So I'm definitely going to try to get something out before the month ends.
I think just follow, like write what you want to write and don't think too much about trying to match the success of that post. I think just being like yourself and writing how you want to write is more important. Yes,
that's feel like that's I try to come like to think that, well, to convince myself of that at least, because that's thing, you always have that little voice, even if you think yourself, okay, what I do usually is fine, it's good enough, it's an accident that it went that well for that thing. As if, well, yeah, but still try, maybe you did something different that you didn't do in others, and it's just like it got lucky, it's the right person that started spreading it around, because like I don't have a gigantic network either, so it's not like I have a network, oh, surprise, boom, I'm going to share it around, because I know it's been picked up by like Hack News and stuff like that, and just spreading it around, so it gets more But even before that, I had another post. I had like, well, a couple actually that went high. A year ago or 2 years ago maybe. That's gone by like that software company Postman. Like I wrote something about them, like how to use their products if you don't know anything about software and
Postman.
Yeah, it's some software like to test APIs and stuff like that, like just some software stuff. Shenanigans.
What is that thing that I learned when I worked with you? I've forgotten it. Something Stack.
Stack Overflow.
No.
No.
Something Stack. Blah blah Stack.
Something Stack.
Heap Stack. Something like that. No.
Could that be it?
Logjam? Logstack. Is that a thing?
Oh, Logstack. I remember not knowing anything about it even now. Like, yeah, I remember the guys were dealing with that. Like, yeah, I don't really care. I'm just gonna leave it there. It's gonna do its own thing. Yeah. But like, it's something like to capture logs of what our code was doing.
Because I had to look in that bloody log thing.
Really? What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know. I had to look for.
Oh, careful, GDPR's law, so maybe not. Depends on what you're gonna say next.
No, I wasn't looking at anyone's details.
Alright.
It was
which would have been legal back then. That would have been legal because I was like, what?
Yeah, but I worked for the company. Why can't I look? Someone has to look.
Someone has to look. Well, actually, it depends, like, because there's those GDPR things they introduced, like, last year, I think, with personal details.
It was for, like, errors, yeah, no, but...
And actually, no, that's fine, because we're PCI DSS compliant, so I don't think there was anything weird.
If someone had an issue, I had to go look in the bloody Logstack and see what happened. And check the
that's
codes.
weird that you didn't send there, like, to Logstack, like, that'd be more of a dev tech thing, but you just decided to grab more hats and, like...
I didn't decide. Someone was like, here.
Someone decided you to have more hats.
Use this string thing, search in the thing, and find these things. And if these things are not there, then something's wrong.
Oh, that's interesting that you had to go that far, that technical. While not being crazily technical either. Because I still don't know what Logstack is. I know what it is, but like I don't even know what it looks like. Like that's the thing.
It's not like I understood. I didn't know. I just knew if this thing wasn't there, then
then something's wrong, and we need to deal with it. Yeah.
I didn't know what's going on. Okay, can I ask you? A question.
You can ask me a question.
Okay, I'm actually a bit tipsy. But if you were on death row, or gonna go away somewhere dry.
Somewhere dry. Okay, that sounds like a pretty interesting balance. Death row or somewhere dry.
Basically, you're gonna go away and you're having like a meal.
Okay, or like my last meal before I can either go into some really dry desert or death row. And
those that listen to Table Manners will know what I'm asking. Basically, what would be your final meal?
What would be my final meal? Oh, that's a very interesting question. I don't think I took the time to think about that. Like,
so starter, what would you have? Okay, what drink?
I really don't know. Like that's the thing. Like there's no meal that's particularly on top of another one to me. Like I just enjoy a bunch of different things. Like had gnocchi for lunch. I really like them. Like I didn't really know much. Like I knew about gnocchis. Like in France, there's some brands that do gnocchis, but it's not that great. Mm-hmm. But like there's just bring those things from Italy. Like wow, that's really nice. I can't believe that I missed on that all my life. And but then it's not like that kind of meal. I wouldn't want it to be my last meal. That could be one of my last meals. If they could have like multiple of them.
No, you have one meal. Okay, break it down. What would you have to start?
Some kind of
French duck thing in a can?
French duck thing.
Crudité?
Yeah, I really don't know. Like, if it's my last meal, I'm not going to care about carrying or anything like that. So fuck salad, fuck legumes, some veggies. Like, I'm going to have none of that nonsense.
Okay.
So, yeah, probably some like duck pate with some, not wholemeal bread, some like bread with like, maybe even adding some slices of butter on top.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's, if I'm
butter and pate.
Butter and pate and maybe some jam on top, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that'd be the starter. Mm-hmm. Then the main.
Okay, what are you drinking?
What am I drinking? Well, I'm gonna die, so absinthe. Well, I like absinthe already, but it's just.
Do you think that might overpower your palate and you won't be able to taste the food?
Actually, it depends how you take it. Like some people, like I remember when I moved to London, I was like having those crazy parties. Like I would have absinthe shots.
Yeah. Which
is not the best way of drinking, but it's the best way to get drunk extremely fast.
Yeah.
For way too much. But like, you take it. It's dangerous because it eats you when you don't see it coming. Because like, oh yeah, I had my absence shot. I'm gonna have some beer now and just relax. But then it eats you and you don't remember anything. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so how would you drink it with your meal?
So how would I drink it? How would you? I'd use that like you have those absence machine where you can just have that drip go through some sort of not a spoon, but like that's I don't know what to call that in English. It's like some sort of flat thing where you have a couple of holes and you put a sugar on top of it, and you can have like ice. Like depending on how sophisticated your machine is, you can have like a block of ice, and you get the absence dripping on top of it, going through the ice, and then through the sugar, through the not waste. You could actually use a fork if you don't have that little flat thing with holes.
Wait, this is an
and then get your glass,
machine.
Like you have your bottle of absinthe and just get the drop by drop.
Is that how you're supposed to drink it?
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, people do weird like mixing with cokes and stuff, but like
do you have
that's
this
how
machine?
you actually. No, I don't. I need to buy one.
Yeah, you need to buy one.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Like my favorite absinthe shop in Paris closed, or it seems to have closed, like Vert d'Absinthe. It's like they were just doing a whole bunch of different kind of absinthes. And now they're gone, so I need to find a new one. But yeah, once I find a new one there, because here it's really hard to find absinthe. Like I found absinthe once by accident in some off license back in North London, but that's it. Like I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I mean, don't look here. I remember drinking absinthe when I was, I don't know, maybe a teenager, or in my early 20s, and we'd heard it was like this very strong alcohol, and of course,
it's strong, but like. Yeah, I know about like myths about it.
It's strong and green. And what did we do? We did shots on the bus.
Yeah, that's what you do with absinthe.
And then that was that.
Yeah.
We did
and then you don't remember anything of what happened afterwards. Like
all I remember is doing shots on the bus. Yeah. I don't know where I was going. I don't know what I did afterwards.
Yeah, that's what it does.
That's what I did before.
That's what happens when you get absinthe shots. You're like, okay, you have them, and your night's over.
Yeah.
You just wake up in your bed, maybe, and then you're like, night's gone.
Absinthe. Okay, so you're going to have this duck pate with the butter and the jam and absinthe through this machine.
Yeah.
Which is dripping onto an ice block and then sugar.
And then you get like your absinthe at the bottom in your cup. Yes. Okay. Takes some time to make, but like it's really worth it.
Okay, that sounds actually quite nice.
And what else?
To the main.
Yeah. Okay, there's more pressure on that one. So I already have the duck for the starter, like the duck pate, so maybe not duck for the main. Actually, it depends if I can make the meal an experience where I do have to hunt the things that I get. That make it more enjoyable to say.
Do you want to hunt?
Well, I never hunted, but like, if I'm gonna die right after, I want to be able to hunt my last meal. Just go hunt the duck that I'm gonna eat.
You're gonna hunt more duck.
I just get one duck. That'd be a lot of duck to make in a pate, but I'm gonna die. I don't care about how much duck pate I'm gonna have. I'm just gonna spray it all.
No, but we've done the starter now. You have your duck pate. You want to hunt the duck for the duck pate?
Oh yeah, hunt the duck first.
Okay.
And then get something exotic for the main then. I don't know. Oh. Shark.
Like, you want to eat shark?
No, I want to go hunt a shark and then eat it. Yeah.
Have you ever eaten shark?
No.
So why would you want your last meal to be something you've never tried?
Well, I'm gonna try it out. I'm thinking, it's my last meal. I'm allowed to go and fight a shark to death and eat it if I win.
Funny.
So yes, I would go for that. Like,
how would you cook this shark?
I wouldn't bother cooking it. Like, I'm on death row. I'm gonna die right after. So even if I get poison or whatever,
you can eat it raw.
Yeah, I might as well just go for the raw shark. Like, I'm having sushi, so like, what? It's not that big of a difference.
So there's a famous so you know there's like sharks have been overfished for a dish called shark fin soup.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I'm not saying you have that, but
it would be as satisfying like than actually getting the shark myself, like. Because
that's sad, because people are like killing too many sharks for that soup.
Yeah, that sucks. Like for soup, that's lame. I wouldn't kill animals for soup. Like, you get it roasted or grilled or barbecued, but soup. Like, okay, so just get veggies in.
Yeah. So so if you were not gonna wrestle a shark and eat it, raw, what else would you have?
What else do I have? I stick to the roots and get some chicken.
Chicken?
Yeah. I don't know how.
Roast? Barbecue.
Oh yeah, barbecue would be nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, barbecue
whole chicken just like fucking on the barbecue. Oh my god. I spoke to someone the other day.
That's brilliant. I didn't think about it like that'd be brilliant. Just get the whole chicken and just bites right into it.
Yes.
And that's the main.
Yeah. I spoke to this guy the other day and he said to me that he didn't like barbecue.
What? Okay.
Now, a meat eater.
Yeah.
And I don't think you even need to be a meat eater to like barbecued food. But as a meat eater, didn't like barbecue.
That's such a shame. Like, see, I said that I was against, well, actually I didn't say, but like, I'm against death penalty in general, but you don't like barbecue, that's criminal first.
Yeah.
Especially if you just feel like you need to spread it around. Like saying,
I also don't
I don't like barbecue, guys. Like, I'm vegan. Nothing against vegan apart when they say they're vegan, but like...
He wasn't spreading it around.
Okay. I was just, you asked him, do you like barbecue? Like,
so, no, I was talking, because at work I talk about food all the time, and he said something about barbecue, then he's like, I don't actually like barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is what happened. We were sitting at work, and the smell of barbecue filled the office, because there's like food stalls downstairs, and he was like, I don't really like barbecue, and it didn't make sense, because he likes meat, he likes eating meat, but I don't know if you know, like British food, you know, back in the day wasn't so great. So his idea of barbecue, yeah, it's better now. But back in the day, his idea of barbecue would be like a shitty water-filled burger that would shrink and be dry when it was cooked on the barbecue, like shitty sausages. And I'm like, but what we can actually smell is like Turkish food being grilled on a barbecue, and like, who doesn't like that? Also, our forefathers and ancestors and foremothers, what did they cook? They cooked over an open flame on the ground.
Yeah,
aka barbecue. So it's in our DNA. This is true facts and science. It's in our DNA to like barbecue, because otherwise, what were we eating?
It's not like you're gonna boil your chicken or boil your beef.
You might not have had water. You might not have had water to waste on boiling. You might need to drink that water. Anyway, so just saying. And also, you can barbecue anything. Cauliflower barbecued, delicious. I had some delicious barbecued cauliflower maybe 2 summers ago, and that prompted like a 2-year roasted cauliflower extravaganza, which has just come to an end, which will probably start again in the summer with barbecue season.
I haven't tried cauliflower barbecue.
Oh, it's delicious.
Try like aubergine.
Barbecue steaks, when you slice it, so it's like a big like hunk. What I don't agree with, so in supermarkets now you can buy cauliflower steaks, I'm doing the air quotes.
Yeah.
And they're like the same price as kind of meat. And that's obviously stupid.
Oh, because it's barbecue. What?
Because it's called cauliflower steak. It's kind of, they're kind of pricing it the same. Obviously it's a cauliflower which you could buy for £1. So I recommend buy your own cauliflower, slice it. You can get 4 steaks from a cauliflower, 2 good ones, maybe the 2 sides, the like end bits might break up a little bit.
Yep.
Definitely get 2 good ones. Put your spices on, whatever spices you got, doesn't really matter.
No.
In the oven. Effing delicious.
Really? Oh, you can swear. You can actually say fucking delicious.
I know. I just feel like saying effing.
Fair.
Sometimes, you know, when you leave a little bit to be undisclosed.
Yeah, for the imagination. Yeah. But like, don't worry.
Okay,
how
so
like
you're going to roast a whole chicken and eat it with your bare hands.
Yes.
Sexy.
Definitely.
And then for dessert?
For dessert, that's a good question. So many desserts. Like, I would do something simple, like just ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a pot of ice cream, a Ben and Jerry's.
What flavour?
There's one that I tried, like, which is cookie dough and brownie, plus like caramel in the middle. Yeah, I definitely get like 2 of them. Yeah, I do that. I do that. But then, if there's a chance that I don't die, probably I wouldn't go for it to like 1. Okay, 1. Saving some calories just in case.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
How about you? Actually, what would you do?
Don't save calories. Okay. So for my starter, I would have seafood platter.
Oh, okay, fancy.
What? It's grilled seafood, all the seafood, and I would have oysters with that.
All right, that's a big starter. Which, you're gonna die right after, so it makes sense to get that. Yeah.
I mean, die or not, seafood platter. Oh my god, my mouth is watering thinking about it. Some delicious oysters, and I'd have some really nice prosecco or some really, really good champagne.
Oh yeah, that's a good option too.
Actually, if I could get some really good, like,
get champagne. Don't go straight for champagne.
Yeah, some really dry champagne. I'd do that. So that is my starter, and then my main would be so it would include macaroni and cheese. How my mum makes it.
All right.
Which is very simple. It's cheddar, red Leicester cheese. They're the cheeses.
Oh, and then, so multiple cheeses.
Yeah.
And like, do you put flour as well in it to make it thicker? Like when you get the cheese melting.
So you make the pasta and then you make the sauce. My mum just put an egg in it. It's kind of, she kind of was making like a kind of strange bechamel, but
Right.
an egg, milk, the cheeses, mix it together, and then that's it. Red Leicester makes a difference because when you put it in the oven, and when red Leicester is very like hard, like baked, it's like very salty and very delicious.
Oh.
So you have that. I would have I'd always said I'd have some kind of beef because beef is my favourite of the meats.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'd have like when you have a really good steak and you just feel like your whole soul doing somersaults within yourself. Like
no, I never had that sensation.
It's like flipping with joy, like I don't know, like pleasure. I don't know what it is. I just.
Oh, actually, yes, it did happen with me for beef once, like in a restaurant where they had like that. First time I tried Wagyu beef, I never tried it before. I was like, wow, that's magical. Yeah. Like, I understand fancy people just go get these things all the time. Like, wow, I get it once. I was just flabbergasted by it. So I'm like, how can we not just get them in Tesco and just cook them ourselves?
No, we don't need to have them all the time. Just sometimes. So I'd have that. I'd have that beef experience.
Once a month would be fine for me. Like, I don't need to go once every 6 like once a month I'd take it.
I mean, I would too. I'd have that. I'd have some M&S coleslaw, which is the best coleslaw around.
Yeah? Oh, yeah. I don't know trying that one.
It is really good. And then I'd have like some kind of salad, green vegetables.
Oh,
like that.
healthy last meal. Okay.
I love green vegetables.
Okay, that's fair.
I actually really like vegetables, so I'd have as many as I could fit, like a green vegetables and a salad.
Okay.
And possibly some like rice with lentils in.
All right.
On the side.
Yeah. Still remaining on the earthy side of the last meal.
And fried plantain.
Oh, plantain, yes. Actually, that could be a perfect thing for my chicken eaten with bare hands. Yeah.
I'd get a few really ripe plantain and fried, delicious.
It does taste amazing.
Yeah. I think that's it for my. And then.
Desserts, yeah.
Well, I think that's it for my main, and then I think I would continue with the really nice champagne.
All right. Well, I guess you're getting bottomless champagne at this point.
Yeah, it's bottomless, and it's like better and better as the night goes on.
All right.
And then for my dessert, I don't know. I'm not a massive dessert person. I'd get a trio of desserts.
All right.
I'd get panna cotta.
All right.
I have a rule where if panna cotta's on the menu, I will get it.
All right.
It's not always on the menu.
But is there anything that would make you not have panna cotta, or like make you get panna cotta and another thing?
Well, if it is like panna cotta with some kind of disgusting other thing with it, then I wouldn't get it.
All right.
But I actually have had panna cotta with things that I wouldn't have thought I would have liked, like green tea, which was actually really nice.
Oh.
So I tried to get it. So I'd have a little panna cotta, and I would make it wobble because I like doing that. And I'd have a baked lemon cheesecake. And this is because so my friend Lisa, she used to make them, and before that I'd never even had a cheesecake, and she used to make them when we lived together.
Oh really?
And
wait, how old were you when you get your first cheesecake?
I don't know. I didn't eat dessert when I was younger. I just ate a lot. I just ate more food.
Like I didn't have cheesecake until I moved here, and not even like straight away. Like it took me. I think I didn't have cheesecake until like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very into cheesecake.
Yeah, I like the baked one. I mean,
Baked one? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know how it's made.
Usually it's like you just set it in the fridge, but the baked one is good. I think that's the New York style.
Alright, like the cheese gets baked as well with the...
Yeah.
Oh, alright. You know what?
Yeah, try that.
Yeah,
good.
oh sure. I shall try that. And what else?
Okay,
So that's your last meal?
Wait, I'm not finished.
Oh,
Trio.
okay, alright.
So the trio would be panna cotta, wobble, lemon cheesecake, baked, and then a fucking chocolate fudge cake. A slice of chocolate fudge cake. You know,
I'd go for that.
You know that chocolate fudge cake you can get in like Sainsbury's, which you have to put in the microwave to melt the top?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, yeah, that is an amazing cheesecake. Not cheesecake, chocolate cake.
Yeah, I'd get that. And then I'd have a whiskey, a fucking really good single malt whiskey to end.
That works. That's actually a fair meal. Like, yeah. Really went all out on the thing. Like you took some time to think about it.
Yeah. I'm often thinking about it and adjusting. Yeah. So basically,
like what if I had my last meal tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm always ready. Yeah.
That's good. Like, we never think about what if when we're doing something is the last time we're doing it, how we do it.
But I don't think about it like my final meal. But if someone was like, Joyce, what is your best meal? I'm going to prepare it today. I'm not going to mess around.
Oh, alright. So, okay, I'll just drop that whole list. Yeah. Now go to Tesco and buy all these things.
Yeah, exactly. Or find the restaurant. But it's not that complicated. Seafood platter, everyone does one.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know much. Like, what would you put in your seafood platter, though?
You know, squid, octopus.
All right.
All those kind of bits and bobs, and like some fish, and the oysters. Yeah.
Also, like, I never eaten oysters. Like I was talking to a colleague who told me, like, oh, you should try oysters. It's nice. It's kind of fancy. Like, yeah. I don't know. Like, well, I don't really know. Like, everyone in my family actually likes oysters. Everybody I know seems to love oysters.
Sure, you don't have oysters.
Never went in depth with that. Yeah, we could go and try oysters. Like, I need to try them at some point. I can't just run away from them forever. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe it's nice. It's just the appearance that doesn't appeal to me much. Like,
I didn't try oysters until I was, I mean, like, I don't know, 24 or something. Right. But I had it as one of my resolutions, my New Year's resolutions, to try oysters.
Okay, so you kind of brought yourself to try oysters.
I was like, yeah, I need to try oysters. And I did. I went to... I was seeing someone at the time, and I told him about my resolution, and then we went to Brighton, and then we did it there.
Okay.
And we went to a really nice seafood restaurant, actually, and we had oysters, but also had like a crab linguine, which was really delicious as well. I remember that was amazing.
Oh.
Really nice sparkling wine. I think it was Prosecco. I think if you like seafood, then you probably like oysters. And I actually feel
I'm not a big seafood guy overall. Actually, like, I mean, fish, even sushi and stuff.
Langoustine, sushi. I think I would have some sashimi on my seafood platter as well.
Oh yes, definitely, you should get that. Like, I'd have salmon. I'd have tuna, like raw as well. But just crab. I'd have crab, but shrimp. I don't know what it is about shrimp. I just don't want to deal with shrimp. And second kind of beer, I'm not gonna say it's cheating, but like, it's beer.
Yeah, this whiskey is literally gone to my head.
It's really nice. Well, I mean, it's like how many? Well, it's 40%. It's regular-ish. Yeah. But then you wouldn't have like 4 glasses of whiskey in a row. No.
Some beer to like sober up.
So perfect more alcohol, of course. That's how it works.
Yeah, I'm a big. So if I was gonna like make it, I feel like for oysters, everyone kind of thinks that they're like difficult to eat and I don't know, too much. And they're just like basic. They're like a basic food that looks a bit weird, but I mean, just get over it. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking about. Maybe if I have to eat oysters someday, I'm gonna try them just like a shot, like just whoop.
No, chew it. You chew them.
Oh, you actually chew that?
Yes, to get the flavour out.
Oh, it's actually something to chew on top. Oh god,
yeah,
that's much more steps than I pictured.
You chew it. Oh my god! But if you like seafood, oysters are like the sea.
Oh, that's fine.
It's like the sea in your mouth.
The sea in your mouth. I don't know if I would like to have the sea in my mouth.
Yeah, you would. You do. You love it. I mean. So you chew it. You give it a few chews. Get it. Get it out.
Yeah.
And then you swallow it.
Yeah. Oh. Phrasing.
JD, I thought you got past the phrase.
I so did not. It's still there. Very present in my life. Alright. Yeah. I do like this whiskey.
Yeah. Should I do you want more?
Yeah, I'm gonna refill that. Well, actually without the ice this time.
You sure?
I actually learned to appreciate it without ice. And like first time I tried it, like there was that guy from work who took us on a tour to try out whiskey up in Glasgow and like, okay, let's go to that whiskey place. I'm just showing us how to try, like how to smell it first.
Oh yeah.
Like the whole, bring it to your nose, back and forth. Yeah. Like, okay, get the smell in.
Yeah.
As well, okay, pour the whiskey now. Well, I already have poured the whiskey at that point. But you just enjoy through your nose before you taste, because that's part of the whole taste experience. Like you get the smell in, and then you put it in your mouth and like, okay, that is nice. And then get the best glass of water of your life, because that's really dry. But I'll go without the water for today. Just carry on that thing and
So, did
go.
you buy any when you were up there?
When I was up there, well, I bought some, but like I didn't bring bottles. It's more like in whiskey places, getting glasses. Yeah, that's just the only thing we do there.
Did he take you to a distillery to try?
No, we just went to whiskey place. It's really more
like a whiskey
after work
thing.
Like we go to whiskey places, like places where they just sell whiskey, and go there, try whiskeys.
Yeah.
Like for 2, 3, 4 hours, and then we go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I once had a leaving gift from a job where my colleagues got me whiskey tasting.
Yeah.
But like for me and them.
All right.
And so we all went together, and it was so fun. It was a really nice gift, actually.
Yeah, definitely. Like whiskey is a nice treat.
Yeah.
So.
And so we all went and we did this tasting, and it was really fun. I really like whiskey, and I'm really happy that I found that I liked it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's like, I mean, I like drinking whiskey when I'm just talking or relaxing, kind of, but also to think. If I want to think about something, I like look at some paper. I'm gonna have a glass of whiskey and just think about it and just look through things. I even look at code sometimes, like let's say, not necessarily work, but like even personal project I work on. Okay, I'm gonna pour some whiskey and think about that problem I'm facing. Like, that's why it wasn't working the regular. Because I think, like, alcohol or even drugs to a certain extent, depends on what you take, I'd say, are tools. Like, if you use your tools wrong, then you're going to do some weird shit. Like, you can use a hammer. You can use a hammer to build things, or you can smash on someone's head. Like, it's just what you do with it. So to me, it's good, like, to help opening up my mind to think about it in a way that I wouldn't think of in my regular state of mind.
Yeah.
I'd say, like, the in-office environment where I won't drink in the office. Obviously, nobody drinks in the office.
I mean, some people do.
Well,
in Mad Men, that's what they do.
In Mad Men, that's what they do. But that was the 60s. Probably we'd do that if we were in the 60s.
Literally, every time I walk into a room, ice, drinks, cigarettes. Clink, clink. That sound.
Yeah. Nah, we don't do that. Maybe like, okay, we come in for the too much whiskey from night before, but we wouldn't, whiskey in. But then it's different because like that project up there, it's client side, so we wouldn't fuck with that. We wouldn't be like, okay, let's bring some bottles in. But when we're in our office, then we get like some wine at 3, only on Fridays though. We're not doing that in the middle of the week, unless something special happens. But like, that's it. Like get a reward of some sort. But yeah, they're like, okay, guys, champagne, get a glass, raise your glass, and then you go back to our desk and kind of work. Yeah. But otherwise, the drinking thing is more of a Friday. So, well, it's everywhere. Actually, you introduced that when we were working together because I didn't even know that was a thing. Because in France we don't have that, and everybody in the company was French, so none of us even thought, okay, we should probably have a break at around 4, get some drinks and drink. And yeah, so that was actually the first time I was experiencing that. Like, oh, I like that. That's nice.
It's one of my achievements in life. Beer Friday.
Yes, I love that Beer Friday. That was really cool. And and then it was a thing everywhere. I was like, wait a second, we were the only one not doing that. I was like, no way. That was kind of crazy. That blew my mind. Like, wow, we can drink on Fridays early. Wow.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I loved our Beer Fridays. We had fun.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. Like just hanging out, getting some beers and stuff. Well, do you think only to beer though on Beer Friday? I'm not sure.
Beers and stuff. Yeah, we would. Well,
we'd start with beer, definitely.
We'd have beer. Some would have cider.
Oh yes, we won't name them.
They'll be unnamed. Some would have gross cider, and then we might go somewhere. After and get something else or not.
Yeah, but that always starts with beer, so the Beer Friday name is fine. Yeah, and then afterwards, in other companies I worked in, like there was. Yeah, Beer Friday was more of a booze Friday, like they have some sort of open selection. Where you still stick to beer because that's the thing you learn. Like, I mean, I learned the beer, so I stuck to beer. Well, I moved to gin slowly, and that's actually the time. Like, second probably in London is when I went towards more of the gin Friday rather than Beer Friday. Like we have those team meetings, and like, okay, everybody's getting a drink. Then you get some company update about what we're doing good, what we're doing less good, and where we're going. And now we have Fridays. Well, we call them just Fridays. We don't say beer. It's just like, okay, it's free. Get some wine, get some crackers or sausages and whatever. Or they're brought to your desk. Like, they used to be brought to our desk. Now, you have to go get them.
Who would bring them to your desk?
We'll have, like, some girls are really nice, like, come in, oh, hey, guys, drink trolleys in.
Who were the girls?
No.
Who were they?
Oh, they're colleagues.
So, your colleagues are bringing you booze and food to your desk?
Yeah.
Did you ever do it for them?
No. No, but then that'd be part of what they do, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I guess that might have been seen in the wrong way, which could be why it stopped, because it hasn't been happening for like a month, or I haven't been in the office so often. But recently, it seems like bringing booze and food to the desk became an email. Like, hey guys, there's booze and food in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm sure they got sick of trolleying around booze and food.
No, that's true. Like, I mean, that's the thing. I was thinking, oh, that's really nice for me, but like, what about you? Yeah. But yeah, I miss having food and booze at my desk. Like, if I'm working on something, like, oh, thanks. It's amazing. Thank you.
I would actually.
And now it's gone.
Something to eat right now.
Yeah? So we have grilled veggies left. Because all the good stuff's gone.
I mean, I like grilled. Can I have it more?
Oh, yeah, sure. I can get some. Alright. And you can say more about you. You can actually say anything. We're not going to edit out anything. So you can even sing or just. Yeah.
I'll have it after.
After?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
Well, it's just there, like.
No, because I need to heat it up.
Alright. Oh, yes, heating up.
Yeah.
That's fair. Alright. Or you can get more whiskey so that you don't think about how hungry you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. What happens? Yep. Okay, so it's working. We are saying things. Okay, we're back on.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright. So, you were saying.
We're back. What was I saying?
I do not remember. I don't know. We're saying something about drinks.
Can I actually just make a public service announcement?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, so today it's the beginning of summer.
It is the beginning of summer.
I love the beginning of summer. It's kind of hopeful. Everything's going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
Great. Everyone's wearing their best outfits. The ladies are looking...
Well, yeah.
Well, they're getting into it.
From a certain point of view, yeah.
They're getting into it. Everyone's like wearing their best outfits. The ladies are looking fantastic. The guys are getting their t-shirts on. Great, everyone enjoys that.
On, off, or tans. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love a good tan. Anyway, but one thing I absolutely do not agree with: flip-flops. Men wearing flip-flops in cities.
What?
No. No.
Okay, I don't know if I can agree with that.
No. I saw a guy today. Nice outfit, nice trousers, nice t-shirt, and he had fucking disgusting grey flip-flops on his fucking disgusting feet. And it's just disgusting.
Wait,
like,
when you say flip-flop, do you mean like those things, like the flat thing with like the cords that come in?
Yes.
Okay, so these ones, yes, I'm not, like, I could wear them, I wouldn't wear them outside, unless like I'm in the beach, but yeah.
And also, he was wearing like, they weren't even like, I don't know, leather or like pretend shoes. They were literally like the ones you'd wear to the beach.
Like the plastic ones, yeah, like, yeah.
And, you know, it's fine if, it's just not fine, is it? If people are getting, like,
Yeah.
if they're getting pedicures, great. I actually saw a guy last year who was really hot. Great outfit, looked really good. I looked at him from head to toe. Got to the toes. His feet, he was wearing flip-flops, and they were like fucking hoofs. They were disgusting. And I was thinking, how can the top part of you be very well put together, and this feet area be so disgusting? And this is why it shouldn't be allowed in cities. Fair.
In cities, yes. But then at the beach, that's
fine. At the beach,
you don't really have a choice.
Anyone can be however they want.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I don't like about it.
Or in McDonald's. You go as you are, so that's...
Yeah.
If that's how you are.
That's fine. I don't get to McDonald's, so it doesn't matter.
No, that's fair.
Or ladies wearing black tights in the summer. In the heat of the summer, please do not wear black tights.
That's really funny, like, they'd wear black ties in summer when, during the winter, there's no ties. Like, just like, miniskirt, and they're like, are you not feeling the cold?
Do you know what's so funny? It's so funny. So my friends at uni were mostly not British, and that was one of the first things. They were like, Joyce, why does no one wear tights in winter? And I was was like, and I was busy not wearing tights in winter. And I was like, what do you mean? They were like, no one's wearing tights here. No one's wearing a proper coat. It's winter. Everyone's just sort of dressed like it's sort of kind of spring or summer. And I'm like, no, we just don't really have the proper attire. But something's happened now where people do wear tights and they continue to wear the thick black tights in fucking like 30-degree weather. Please. What if I wore it? Like, just take off the tights and wear skin colour or whatever. Or like light black. But it just looks horrible. Those are the two things. Men, if you're going to have flip-flops, get pedicures. Ladies, there are literally loads of different types of tights out there these days.
Yeah, but yeah, that's just how they feel good. Maybe they feel good with their black tights in the summer and no tights in the winter.
They don't feel good.
Like, they don't, like, maybe that's just their thing to feel just way too hot. Like, oh, maybe if I'm hot in my mind, like physically I'll be hot to people in terms of appearance.
No, I can understand, because obviously as a woman I wear tights, so I can understand the thought process where you might end up wearing black tights in the summer. But there just is another way. Because you want to wear tights, perhaps.
Why? Why would you wear tights? Like, to me, socks do the job perfectly fine, so why do you need to get tights on top?
Okay, so obviously that's silly. But you might want to wear tights because you don't want to show your legs. Maybe
you're not shaving.
Maybe you haven't shaved and you would like to be shaved. Maybe you don't like the way that your legs look. Or maybe you're worried about it being a bit cold at some point in the day, something like that. But natural, like, legs out just looks nicer most of the time, kind of regardless of what your legs look like. And I would like to say that, you know, I know that lots of women worry about cellulite as well, like, and so if they're wearing like a shorter dress, they might wear tights. Just get legs out. Get them out. Be proud. You are a goddess. Just know that.
Free the legs.
Yeah. Feel good about your fucking legs and wear no tights in the summer and be happy.
Yeah. Like, I can't relate to that at all. I don't know about it. Like, yeah. I don't wear tights. As one that.
I just find tights actually really annoying. Like, I wear trousers quite a lot. Partly because I just think,
you don't care about tights. Like, that's the thing, I don't get actually why you need tights altogether. Like,
no, in winter you can't have bare legs.
Well, I mean, in winter, just get some jeans.
Yeah, but you don't always want to wear jeans. Variety.
Well, but over winter, like, you wear a bunch of different pants, like jeans or
don't pretend. You don't wear a variety of different trousers in winter.
I wear, like, the same 4 trousers for winter.
Exactly, so that's not a variety.
It's a variety. It's more than one. That's variety enough for me, so yeah. Like, I mean, even through summer, I'd wear them unless, like, okay, it's too hot, I'm going to put some shorts on, and that's it.
What about, is there anything that people wear that you think they shouldn't wear? And I'm not being mean, like, I'm
being mean, but some people should not wear what they wear.
No, I'm not being mean. It's just like, the flip-flops are just a waste of time. They're lazy, that's what they are. And, like, obviously, like, look after your feet if you're going to expose them.
Like, you have the sort of bamboo where you can, like, cover the rest, and actually it's easier to put on than the flip-flop. Just slip your feet in and you're done. Just walk around the whole day.
And the tights business, it looks uncomfortable, and if it's coming from a place of, I don't want to show my legs, because I don't, even if, like, it doesn't matter what your legs look like, just get them out and be happy. Like, I think we should get away thinking that of this thing where we have to be perfect to be allowed to walk around society. You don't. You just have to be proud of whatever it is that God gave you. Just whatever it is. If your legs are hairy and you don't want to shave them, don't. Walk out. Be proud.
Yeah, but if you don't want to shave them, that's your own choice. Yeah. So you might as well just assume it all the way through.
Or if you're like, you know, I had a friend and she was like, I've got cellulite, and she was trying to show me this cellulite, which was basically just above her knee, and I was like, A, I cannot see what you're talking about, and B, everyone has cellulite, so, you know, what are you pointing to me? Why are you trying to show me this thing on your body? And C, if we're at C, that isn't a reason to not wear skirts.
Yeah, but like, at the same time, like, I can see the whole thing, like, of harassing it more than you, because we tend to be harsher with ourselves with everything.
Yeah,
it's like, you're like, oh, something that nobody's gonna even notice or care about. You'll be like, oh, should I need to change that about me, or like to adjust it, because they will see it. People will see it and judge me about it. Like, oh, this is a cellulite that actually they can't see because like they're too far. They're not gonna get that close. They're gonna grab your leg and put it on their face to see it. Like, unless you get really intimate with them, that's another topic. But if you don't, nobody's gonna see it. Like, so yeah, why even bother?
And even if they do see it, so fucking what? Like, everyone has cellulite. Yeah. Even the supermodels or the models you see on Instagram, whatever. If people don't have it, they're like the
they're
very rare.
That's one.
They're photoshopping, or they're very rare exceptions. And what I'm more concerned with, to be honest, is people loving their bodies and loving themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, as a guy, are part of these conversations, but I'm part of so many conversations where a group of women will just sit around and just talk shit about their own bodies as if it's normal. Just don't do themselves down, and I just can't do it. Like, for me, that's just the opposite of the way that I operate. I will not sit with you and say, I hate this and that about myself. Obviously, there are things about my body which I would love to change, but that is one thing.
Yeah.
But the other, that's, no one's perfect, but when I look in the mirror, regardless of what I see reflected back at me, whether I'm bloated as hell, whether I've put on weight, which I have, I'm like, I'm a queen, I'm a goddess, and everyone's going to know by the way that I carry myself. And I think that...
Well, it's more about the attitude and the confidence that you have around that people will behave with you a certain way compared to...
it's not based on what I look... If I said based on what I look like...
There may be a little bit about how you look, like, for the first interaction, that people that you interact with already, they're not going to say, oh, you look different, or you don't look as good as before, or you look better. Oh, I'm going to change how I'm behaving with you, even though I know you for a while. Like, that'd be a weird thing.
Okay, so but what I do is I take my body and I try to make the best of it. And my favourite, like, when I see women who look really nice and dressed up, my favourite kind of woman is a woman who is basically an average person, who has made herself look the best that she can look because she just is taking pride in herself and she wants to make the best of herself. That, to me, is beauty. That, to me, is it. And I do that for myself. And then, so sometimes people say, oh, you look nice. I couldn't do that. And I'm like, yes, you could.
Yes, you can. Like, take
Anyone
care of yourself. Like,
you just take the bits that you know, for example, I have like hips and thighs, but there's certain silhouettes that are, very straight that I would love to carry and like pull off, but I can't because my body shape isn't that. Now, I have to push that aside and look at myself and go, right, what can I pull off? How can I make the best of myself? And basically, I'm very good at making the best of what I've got.
Yes, I've seen that in the past, like work-wise and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when we had that zero budget policy to make the best of best marketing strategy possible and stuff
So I do that with myself as well. So, sometimes I walk out and my hair is absolutely like a dog's like bum hole, but I make the best of what I've got with my hair that day, and I'll even get compliments. And people act as if like I've done it on purpose. I'm like, no, I just make the best of what I've got because that's all you can ever do, and you should be proud of yourself because this is your body. And some people don't have all the things that you can do. Some people can't walk or they can't move freely through society.
True.
And you have to like value that. And that's what I mean. So when you're hiding yourself, hiding your legs in those fucking stupid black tights in the summer because there might be a pinch of cellulite, you should be proud of that cellulite. Yeah. You should be showing off.
Well, you should be proud that it's the main concern you have in life.
And you should be walking down the street like you're a goddess. Because if you don't show people that you're a goddess, they will never know it.
True. Like, I embrace every day that I'm a goddess. I'm like, I'm going to get some of that whiskey, walk around. Like,
cheers.
I'm just ruling over my subjects on the kingdom that doesn't exist. But anywhere but my head. But see, that's a good feeling. Just walk around and like, you carry yourself and you have yourself in a way that you know you want to be seen, or at least that you think you are. But you don't want to go far, as in disconnect yourself from what and who you are. You want to know, okay, that's what I have, that's what I do with it, and that's how I am in general. So it's good to feel good about it and to like make your best from what you've got. But you wouldn't want to go like, okay, think about you as something that's not necessarily what you are. I don't know if you see what I mean. Like, you don't want to disconnect from you either. Like, you want to be proud of you, but not go all the way like, oh, I'm all the way over there when you're not. Like, no, I'm there.
No,
I'm back here, But I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, you
and
don't want
I'm
the,
great as I am.
the
I'm just
confidence to transition into arrogance, and that's not what I'm saying.
Mm.
But I think what I would love is for women to look in the mirror and see whatever is there, but know that they are queen. That is what I'd want. Because what happens, people look in the mirror and they like point, oh, this is...
Yeah, point at details that they don't like.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do that. Like, not just physical appearance, but even in like how we are in life in general. We all like, oh, I could do that thing way better. Oh, I'm going to the gym only once or twice a week. I could go like every day.
Yeah.
Or I drink too much. I should drink a little less. Actually, no, drinking is perfectly fine.
It's being kind to yourself, isn't it? It's like accepting, like, how you would look at your friend. You wouldn't be like, oh, she's got that thing poking out there. She's got that thing hanging out there. Yeah.
Unless you're a really mean-spirited person. Then you'd go like, oh, you're terrible. Oh, look at this ass. Oh, look at this heart. Oh, disgusting.
Because it doesn't really matter. Like, the bits, what I've come to realise is the bits on your body only can, like, what usually happens is that they help you feel good about yourself. And when you feel good about yourself, it all looks good. But what people should be able to do is, maybe not all of the time, is find a way to feel good about themselves, which isn't based on the reflection they see in the mirror, but it's based on how they feel. So when I look in the mirror, sometimes I look shit. Sometimes I actually look shit I make myself look shit on purpose.
Really? To make sure that you know when you look shit? Or
because I don't always need to look good.
Alright.
When I want to look... Sometimes...
Is there a situation where you want to look bad? Like, well, shit?
Yeah.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. But sometimes I will want to look sickeningly beautiful. And
as one does, like, yeah.
Yeah. And so sometimes, it was like last week I wasn't really feeling, I wasn't in a very good mood, and I looked very tired, and I looked in the mirror and I was like, I look like shit, and I just didn't put on any makeup, and I went about my day. And at the end of the day, I was like speaking to someone, and I was like, yeah, I wanted to like really feel how I was feeling, and so I left myself looking like this. And then I was over it.
So it was kind of expressing yourself as well.
Yeah, because it's fine. I don't always have to look good, but and also that doesn't affect the fact that I know that I'm a queen, and like that I am an amazingly beautiful woman, not because of what is on the outside. Do you know what I mean? That's
it's like just cheesy, like what you have in and just kind of show it out as well. Like not hide that. Oh, let's put a pile of makeup on top and just hide it. And...
I grew up with women who were not. They all were beautiful to me, but it wasn't because they were like. If I looked at them now, I wasn't. They weren't like.
Oh, they kind of average.
They weren't. No, they weren't conventionally beautiful.
All right.
But I didn't when I was a kid. I didn't know the difference. But they all were beautiful to me because they all just like.
Oh, they were like.
Took themselves and made the best of themselves.
All
that's like. I don't know. I think that's very much like Caribbean culture, like Caribbean women, and like my mum, for example, always is like making the best. My mum is a very beautiful woman, so she's very lucky. But always is like make the best of yourself. Doesn't matter what you've got.
Yeah, like you can do it, and that's the thing that you have people who won't do the best of themselves and complain about it. Like,
oh no,
that's what I don't like. That's like if you don't like where you are, no matter if it's physically or professionally or anything, and that's what you do about it is complain or like kind of hate on people who are. Or you think are doing better than you that may not be doing better.
Well, I think
I'm not going to change anything. It's the other's fault. Like,
well,
that's
I think it comes from a place of thinking that some people are beautiful and some people aren't. And if you're not born beautiful, you can't be. But where my mum is from, it's like everyone is born with what they have and they make the best of it. Or they make themselves look as nice as they can look. And that's the difference. What we have in our culture now is like there is a look of beauty. And if you're not that look of beauty, then you're not beautiful. But I've never been that look of beauty.
But that's fine because it's not even like the same in all the countries. Like I see, like they do like expositions of guys, like a photograph, take pictures of. Oh no, not to say photograph. Like there was that guy. I think no, that wasn't a photograph. That was a guy who took a picture of a girl and photoshopped it to match the beauty standards of different countries, and she looked widely different for all these countries. So it's not. I guess it's just a cultural thing of like what you think is beautiful or not. It shows how subjective that is. So that's. Fits into that you should, like I would say, you should see yourself as beautiful. Well, to a certain extent, not transition to arrogance, but like yourself enough.
But I think from what I've seen with it's like as women, we're so far from arrogance. We have conversations where everyone is just sitting there doing themselves down. I can't wear that. I'm too fat. My waist is too this. My thighs are too that. And I'm like. Why are you doing that? Why are you just listing all the things you don't like about yourself? why are you painting that picture of yourself instead of painting a different picture?
Yeah. Well,
Sometimes I was saying this to my mum this morning, I really don't like it when you get, someone gives you a compliment, but it's like, oh, you look really nice in those trousers. I could never wear them. My body's like this. My body's like that.
oh yeah, that kind of sucks. Like,
And I'm like, no.
You're great, but I'm a little less. Like,
I'm like, no. First of all, I just found a way to wear these trousers. If my body was a bit different, my body changes like everyone else's, and I just found a way to wear these trousers. I just make the best of myself. Actually, I had a friend when I was in my first job, and she said to me something. She said, like, Joyce, we all have sins. We're all hiding sins. And she really taught me this thing, and I really I always think about her. Unfortunately, she passed away, but I always think about her when I think about this. And she was like, she never said anything bad about her body, and she was like, Joyce, I don't love all things in my body, but you know, I make myself look good. But it was that thing, and it was the same thing my mum had always done. And to see like someone I was working with do that as well, like a young woman in like my context, it really kind of made sense.
it rings more to you because she's closer in terms of like generation.
Yeah. And it wasn't that she loved everything on her body, and it wasn't that she was perfect, but it was that she didn't waste time thinking about the things that she didn't like. She just emphasised the things that she did like and made the most of them. And it meant that I couldn't tell you what the things she didn't like. I couldn't tell you she didn't like, all the wrong things. I didn't know. I just saw a beautiful woman who was beautiful inside and out. And I think that's the point. When you dwell on these things, then you make them the centre of what people are going to see in you. But actually, they could be invisible if you just focus.
If you didn't say anything.
Yeah, on the things that are beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, you think could be.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Like, if you make the focal point of yourself your defects, as one would say, then how is anyone gonna care about like how good you look or how good they perceive you if all you tell them about is, okay, I'm stuck at this, I suck at, like, it's like you go to a job interview, you're not gonna say, okay, I suck at this thing, at this thing, at this thing. Okay, we don't really care when they're more for like what you're good at and why we should hire you. So like, it's kind of like, you know, you want people to like you and talk to you, so you don't want to sell yourself, okay, I'm really shit. I look terrible. I'm too fat. I got really short arms. That's not the thing you're gonna tell people. Like
I've got quite long
look,
arms.
I have the best arms. I have the best legs.
Do you want to have an arm contest?
A arm contest.
My arms are really quite long.
Certainly, we're not recording like video, but like, oh, your arms are actually almost as long as mine. That's interesting. Oh, yeah, but we're all going from the same height.
Yeah.
That's why.
Wait, how should we do it?
Okay, like my shoulder gets here.
Yes, put my shoulder where it should be.
Okay, so I think we kind of have the right shoulders. Actually, you have pretty long arms. Like, I only reach like, a hinge maybe. Yeah, maybe a hinge longer. Yeah, okay, you're kind of forcing to be a little.
No, I'm not forcing.
Nah, well.
But look, our elbows are the same.
Like, oh, yeah, elbows are the same.
This part's the
Yeah,
same.
but then my forearm is bigger. So.
Yeah.
Oh, this roughly the same length. Oh, that's interesting. All right. Yeah. Then my wrist is a bit further than yours.
So you got your this.
Like
this bit.
the forearm is longer, but the rest is the same. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. That's.
You know,
why
like,
is your arm short? It's longer.
When people are walking,
yeah,
you can see how long their arms are by how far they. Someone showed me this, and I can't remember who it was.
Okay.
And ever since they showed me, I was like, been able to see it. But basically, obviously, you can see how long people's arms are by how far they come down their thighs.
All right. And
not everyone's arms are like, the ratios aren't all the same.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, you can be higher, like taller, like have a bigger, I'd say,
torso.
Yeah, torso. So your arm, even if it's long, it's gonna look shorter if you go to the knee thing. Yeah.
So some people's arms come down. I think that someone's like, oh, my arms come down to my knees. And some people's arms only come down to like, just like their hips.
That'd be so weird. It's like T-Rex kind of arms. Like,
yeah.
Just
But once you spot them, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's all part
nothing
of
wrong
life.
with that. That's perfectly fine. You can have T-Rex arm if you want. Like, I mean, if you want. It's not like you choose to have them.
No, exactly.
Yeah, they're there and you do the best.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you make the best of what you have.
It's fun to like see different.
So different things.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not definitely. Well, if everything was the same, we'd be bored anyways.
Exactly.
If everything was too perfect, we'd like, let's fuck some shit up so that we can have something interesting happening.
Oh my god, yeah. And there's so much beauty in difference. Or like interesting stuff. I don't know. You know, like one of the things I don't really understand these days is like this eyebrow trend. I don't get it.
Eyebrow trends. Okay,
yeah,
I might have missed that one.
all the girls have the same eyebrow business going on, which I don't have.
Oh.
But fine. But I think, as with everything, there's lots of people that do the same thing. But what we have to always remember is that beauty comes in different shapes and sizes and guises.
Yeah. And cultures as well.
Exactly. And if you can look different to everyone that you know and be beautiful. So when I was growing up, I looked different to everyone and I didn't see myself as beautiful.
Because you were different from everyone else, or just you didn't think of yourself?
I was not what was beautiful. I could
you weren't matching the beauty standard.
Yeah,
okay.
I could see what was beautiful and what people, you know, when I was a young teenager, when, you know, boys started to talk to us, they didn't talk to me. I was like the funny friend.
Yeah?
I was the one that held the handbags.
The funny friend? Okay, that's hard to picture you like that now. But...
Because I'm not funny.
Well, you are funny. Yeah. To some extent. Like, I like to think of myself as funny.
Than me?
Depending on the depending on the situation. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying...
You're really fun, but like, I think yeah, let's think we also see ourselves, like, it's easier we see ourselves as shit compared to what we are. We see ourselves as much better.
Well, all I was doing was making jokes while everyone was like getting boyfriends and...
Yeah. Hanging out behind the tree or something.
Yeah, I was literally like, okay.
Keeping the tree. Looks like any teachers coming around, like, yeah.
Well, not at school, because I went to a girls' school.
No.
But I was like, fine, I'm not attractive to anyone.
Yeah.
Fine, I'm just going to be smart and like live my life.
Which works. Being smart is a good way of living life.
Not that I'm particularly smart, but I wasn't.
Smart enough.
I wasn't.
Fairly smart, I'd say.
Shut up. Smart enough. Fuck you. Absolutely.
No, you're a smart person. Like, you're definitely in the top tier of people I know.
Don't rate me. It's fine. But...
Too late. No, yeah. I put you in top tier of people I know.
Fine, great. Thank you very much, JT. But that's not really what I was trying to say.
You're a knight of the J.
But I just was like, fine, I'm not going to be attractive. I'll just be smart. And then it wasn't until we got a bit older that I realised I was attractive. But it didn't matter. So what was really good for me is that when I was a young teenager, I made peace with the fact that I wasn't going to be attractive to boys.
All right.
And so that I wasn't going to rely on it. Or
it wasn't going to be like your, I would say, your master key for life.
Yeah. And it wasn't going to be the way that I interact with boys and men, which wasn't easy for me because I didn't grow up with a dad or lots of male relatives. So at some point it was quite awkward.
So it was tricky for you to find like your feet with guys.
Yeah.
So.
I remember being like quite young, and guys would come along, and I remember feeling quite nervous and quite intimidated, and I didn't really understand why. And I remember having an epiphany on the bus on the way home one day, and I was like, well, basically there are no men in my life. That's why I don't never hang out with anyone that's not a girl. And so when I thought that, I was like, okay, fine, I'll just make more effort. And then I made more effort, and then it turns out actually I'm much more at ease with guys. It's really fine and easy for me.
You definitely come off as someone who's like doesn't have issues talking to guys in general.
I mean, our office
quite comfortable.
It was just guys, wasn't it? So,
exactly, those guys and you, and you're fine talking to us.
So I got over that, so that was fine. But that coupled with, let's say, like knowing that I was invisible, no one fancied me, so I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna be like, I'll be the funny one, and the smart one, and everyone can be putting on their makeup after school to attract these guys, and I just won't because they're not gonna see me anyway. Well, it didn't matter. I was invisible. They weren't going to fancy me anyway. So, and that was good in the end because it meant that I had to rely on other things for myself.
Which is good. Like, and you don't want to rely on your appearance as like a life guide, but like when I look at Instagram or Facebook from people that I know that are younger, it looks like it's not what they're doing. They're going actually more back on their appearance rather than studies. Well, which I don't know it's a good thing.
No, it's obviously not. I think there is a group of young people who, they're like, my looks. I mean, it's kind of boring. I don't want to sound old, but like they kind of just make themselves look attractive to a certain type of guy, and that somehow makes them money. But yeah, it's like the same old thing. We had it in the 90s, the lads mags and all that kind of stuff. It's the same thing.
All right.
But now it just transitioned to Instagram.
Yes.
But the thing has always been there, and that's all well and good, and that's fine. What I would say is, fucking be hot shit. I think I'm hot shit.
Yeah.
When I'm like walking down the street, I think I'm God's gift to everyone. I want everyone to fancy me because they should, right? Because I'm so hot.
Yeah.
But
obviously.
also, have something about yourself and know that your self-worth doesn't come from that, and your money doesn't come from that either. Your money comes from
Depending
you.
on which line you work in. Like, there's some lines where it could come from your appearance. Like, if you're an actor or they feel like...
Yeah, but like, know that your like income streams should be based on you, and whether you are saying, right, I'm attractive, I'm going to take these pictures and get paid for that. That's great. Do that. Yeah. Take those pictures, get paid, but know that that's what you're doing. Not like, I'm going to get my self-esteem from these pictures and get paid. That's the difference.
Yeah, actually, that's more of what you have around, like Instagram and stuff. It's like, oh, self-worth there, and like get influencers who will be like, okay, get tons of likes. Maybe I'll get like 1 or 2 ads here and there to like place and get some money out of it, but it's not going to be a career for everyone. Like, it's gonna be, you have a very small group that will actually be able to build on that. But they will. That's what you said. You need to know that you're making your money out of it. But even if you make money, you may still take your self-esteem out of that. Like, I see like videos of YouTubers talk about how they take they used to at least at some point take their self-worth from how many views they were getting, how many subscribers they had, and like, oh, I feel like shit. Like, my video like had 100,000 views last week, but this week it's got only 5,000. What's happening? Am I shit now? Am I the worst person ever? And that's when you take your self-worth from numbers that you can't do anything about. Like, it's actually the same as taking your self-esteem from likes you get on Facebook or LinkedIn or, well, not LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't really count. Instagram or Facebook.
It's so boring.
Yeah, LinkedIn's kind of there. Like, I mean, I need to post like my tech blog.
It's fine, but
that's it. It's not like the like machine. Even though some people seem to try to turn LinkedIn into Facebook, like posting like random shit. I'm like, no, keep that on Facebook. I don't want to see that on LinkedIn. Like, that's professional stuff. I want to just, talk about things that match my expertise domain. And not much else. Like, I'll see updates from people like not worked with. It's like, oh, I'm working there now. I'm doing that now. I don't want to see your cat videos.
No, you don't. I think what I like on LinkedIn is when people have a discussion about like I guess because I work in marketing, it'd be like a type of thing that's happening in marketing.
Which is good. That's actually what you want to see on LinkedIn. Like, you're there to get for professional connections and like to exchange about things that you want to get better on or like improve or even share knowledge about. Like I recently joined from a guy that created a group about like being better software engineers, architects, and like and we just spend loads of time discussing how we can make things better for us and for everyone else that works around us. Like, well, technically, not in terms of people. I know that we're great people in terms of teamwork.
Social,
like, I mean, in terms of teamwork, like, I'm. That's the thing. I'm always wondering: am I a great teamwork person?
Okay.
I don't know that yet.
So I feel like when I first started working with you, you were not.
Okay, that's fair.
I would describe you as a very capable person who was just like, would go off and be like, I've done it. That kind of person. A little bit arrogant. But
a fair bit. I guess it comes with the thing.
With the territory.
You have a little bit of arrogance that has to like mix in the room.
Yeah. So, but you were like very green then. You were very like, and I think, I don't know exactly what it was like when you were at university, but I imagine it was all about you. I think at university it's always all about you. Yeah,
we're like a little group of like top of the class guys and just hanging out there and like, we don't really put any effort into this. We're naturally good and just hang out, play FIFA at the back of the class.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much what we were doing.
But when you get to work, you have to learn different skills. And I think one of the things I love, what I've seen in you as you've grown over the years, is that you have mellowed in that respect. So you've been more open because you're very smart and you're very capable. And I'm sure might be like, I don't know, like you might think it's easy. I think you might have thought it was easier just to do it on your own because you just controlled it, everything.
Sometimes, yes, I do feel like there's a lot of things that, okay, I am trying to learn to work better with people in general. Like, okay, you don't necessarily have the same skill sets or like experience as me, regardless of what you've done before, what you're doing now. But I always find it really hard to like align on that. Like, okay, I need to adapt, adjust, so that we can be on the same field, like on the same level when you do something like that.
But what I saw with you
don't come off as a dick. Well, yeah.
Is that with the other guys, the other devs that you're working with, is that there was like a level of respect. So you respected what they were bringing, and that meant that you could work with them. Like you were like more into the group work then. And so lots of times, obviously it was easy for me because I wasn't part of your work. I would be on the outside just watching. It was like watching kind of, what is that film? Google Hunting.
Oh, Google Hunting. Oh yeah. Okay, take that reference.
I was like so proud of the way that you like grew up in that sense.
Yeah.
And like the transition to the work world. And you know, we can all have things that we are not good at that we have to work on. And sometimes if I say to someone, so I would always say to people that I'm not very good at networking or like all that kind of stuff. But my boss, she's like, Joyce, you're really good at it. But it's because it's hard for me that I say I'm not good at it.
Yeah, like you think you make a bigger effort to do it, but everyone's like, "Oh, you're actually great at that thing." Why are you saying you're making efforts?
So I would say the same for you. You might make a big effort to do that group work thing, but I think you've definitely evolved to a place where you are good at it. And I think it doesn't matter that the people that you're working with are bringing something. So, for example, obviously I'm not technical, but I felt like when we worked together, you respected me enough to listen, even though because I was bringing something different.
Yeah.
And I think maybe in the past you had some kind of experience where you had to work with people that were not bringing anything, and that kind of led you to kind of think, okay, I don't need to listen to them. But I think
even now it does happen to me. Like, well, not straight away. I wouldn't like discard someone straight away. Like, okay, you've done a couple of things that didn't make any sense in the past. Like, I'm talking about technical people that I've had to work with at one point or another. Like, okay, you did some stupid shit at one point. Once is fine. A couple of times is fine. But if it happens so often, I'm going to start ignoring you. And like, okay, I'm not going to deal with that. You should listen to what I'm going to tell you, because I'm going to, from what we've seen so far, that when we work together, I ended up being the voice of reason and experience that helped us get in the right direction when you were going the other way. So when that happens, I will tend to actually listen less, way less. And maybe that person will bring something that's going to be new and actually make sense. But I'm not going to care or listen or at least not right away. Maybe I can come around if discussing and like exchanging, like, okay, maybe what you're saying now makes sense. But deep down, I'll always remember, like, okay, last times I listened to you, that was some stupid bullshit. And now I need to try and trust that you're not doing something crazy or stupid again. So it's maybe it's just a different. Like maybe back then I would have not listened to anyone, but now it still feels hard to listen if somebody's proven to not be 100% reliable, or even like 90% reliable on what they say, which forces me also to do more research on my words.
People can't be 90% reliable.
But like,
or 100%.
Like a fair amount of reliable. Like you have the reliable as in, okay, you say you can do something or will do something, like, okay, that doesn't happen or you can't make it work. That's fine. Like nobody can make everything work while they say 100% of the time. But when you have something that's like pure facts or math or logic things that you can know, but you willingly share information that you don't 100% know to be true, that you may have control on, like, say, talking about like patterns or ways of work that you may not know, but like you vaguely heard about or read a blog about. Like, okay, I guess I know about to spread that around at work, and I'm going to help you, like, make you go in that direction. Like, well, maybe do some research or practice on that thing first before you bring it to me, and that we use that on that thing.
Because that's what you would do.
Yeah, and now what I'm doing is just when that happens, I won't listen, but like, okay, maybe I'll keep it in the back of my head and think about it later and maybe do some my own research. I will actually, if somebody brings an idea to me in technical field, I won't ignore it 100. Actually, I said I would ignore it. Like, I won't ignore. I would just say, okay, I'm going to keep it as like one of the last options I'm going to deal with. But when I go home or like on trends or whatever, I'm gonna Google it, and okay, does it seem like a reasonable thing to do or to do? If there's like any research or paper about this, like whether it's a technique or like a pattern or a tool or whatever, like, okay, I'm gonna Google about it and make my own research. It's harder for me to trust people in the team rather than say, okay, well, let's do your thing and see how it works out.
Sure, that's really interesting. So I've been doing at work, I'm doing this leadership training thing.
Yeah.
And as part of that, we had to do this thing about learning or understanding our learning styles.
All right.
And you had to answer these questions and then draw this thing on a grid. And there are 4 zones, and
there it is. Yeah.
Basically,
my glass. That's.
Yeah,
there you go.
Mine's got more water in it.
Cool.
And my learning style was, I think it was accommodating or something. But basically, I like to kind of just go ahead.
Like try things and see what it works out.
Yeah. And basically, there's no wrong type. All types are good.
Well, all types work.
And you need a variety of types in a team. And hearing you speak, I'm thinking, okay, so that's how you take. So if someone has a suggestion, you take that in a certain way, but a different person, a different type of style might take it in a different way. And it's just about the mesh of like different styles of learning and trying things. So, and actually one of the biggest things, so this is like leadership training for work, but actually I feel like it's really helped me understand how my boyfriend goes about things, because I'm like, let's say we're going to book some holiday flights. I'll read something, get a general idea, decision. Boom, let's go. And then I'll be like, right, these are the options. And then, to me, he'll do this annoying thing of going back and reading everything in like a lot of detail, but kind of to end up in the same place.
And you get in the same place, alright.
And I feel like he's being annoying. That's his way is getting more detail. It's like a different type of person, a different way. And that's just how he has to do it to feel like happy with the decision.
Which
and,
like makes sense,
to go forward. But it's very basic, but I was like, obviously, like that's what's happening. You know, that's
like, obviously not the same as I told you. Like,
but I think that my type of learning style is the reason why I can have a business on the side of my day job. And you know, like for example, I was really late today.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm late is also that kind of character trait is also why I can have a business on the side.
What do you mean? Like you can have a business on the side because you can be late, or like you're more flexible, so you can.
I think my lateness is related to like an eternal optimism about what I can achieve.
All right, that's what you mean. Yeah.
And so, if I was really like good at timekeeping, it might mean that I would be really realistic about what I can achieve, and therefore not do a business on the side.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but like me, for example, I can turn. Well, I wouldn't turn extremely say for work. Like there's nothing. Like personal things, I can like okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. But then in 10 minutes, I'm going to have to go shower. Like, oh, just the shower's going to be 20 minutes. And then, I need to get dressed and pick up things. And go, make sure to do the dishes first. And 2 hours later, okay, guys, I'm on my way. And that's not going to be me. I'm not going to be, well, maybe that's also optimism. I'm like, okay, maybe I can do all these things in 10 minutes. But also, like, when it's me, I think it's more like, okay, I can do this, and that, and this, and that other thing over there. And yeah, I totally have time for that. Even if I know I'm late by like an hour or something like that, like, oh, I'm just gonna carry on. But like, oh well, I'm in the kitchen. I might as well do the dishes. Like, oh, I'm in the bed. I might as well make the bed now. Oh, I might as well just look at my emails really quickly on my laptop.
You need to make the bed in the morning.
Actually, no. Like, I didn't know. Well, it depends. Depends on what I do. If I work from home,
make it.
I won't actually make bed before like 6 p.m.
Make it in the morning. Make it as soon as you get out. Make it.
No,
it takes like
these last
2
days.
seconds. You get so much joy out of it.
Do you?
Yes.
Joy from making your bed. That's an interesting.
Not from making the bed, but coming back to made bed. Done. Yeah.
Like my bed will end up being made by the end of the day, but like, I wouldn't make it like as the first thing. So, like the last few days, I've been actually going back to the gym regularly-ish, apart from this morning. But like I wake up around 5:30 to go. So I won't make
in the morning.
Yeah, like that's. Yeah, since Tuesday I've been going back on that. 5:30.
Wake up at 5:30. Is that your power hour?
Yeah, that's like the hour I can feel like I have the time and freedom to go to the gym and redo my thing, and then come home, just relax, read some emails, deal with some paper I may have to deal with, like for the house time to get them. Yeah, just take my time, rest enough to go and get on the bike to go to the office, if I go to the office. So that's, to me that's the best time to do that. And actually now that I'm taking late flights to fly out, like to Glasgow, going to the gym, like making my time to go to the gym like before 6, I have actually enough time to go to the gym, work out, come back home, shower, order the cab, and then I get breakfast at the airport. So I'm like...
What do you have at the airport for breakfast?
Sometimes porridge, sometimes salmon bagels, salmon cream bagel.
Anyone who knows me really knows how I feel about porridge.
Yeah. I've seen you having loads of porridge by now. And that was at the time when I wasn't a porridge person. Like, I tried to get into porridge to try and be a little earthier in my food choices, but I do enjoy porridge. Like, it depends how, like, sometimes the one I make myself, I'm not a big fan.
Okay, how do you make it? Shall we improve it?
We could, like, well, maybe it depends on the grain, like, on what I get as base porridge.
Yeah, okay, so what are you getting as base porridge?
So I get the, like, Scottish oats from Tesco.
Okay, so what you need to do is you need to get the rolled oats. You need to try and get the least processed oat you can find.
Alright. So bigger...
Yeah. So if you get the rolled oats, in the small Tesco's, they don't have the rolled oats, I don't think. I don't usually find them there. Right. In the small Sainsbury's, they do. So you need to go to either a small Sainsbury's or a bigger supermarket and get the rolled oats. The biggest, basically the kind of biggest unprocessed oat you can find.
Alright.
Okay, so how are you preparing the oats once you have them?
Well, I just put them in a bowl, get some milk over them, and then, sometimes I put them in. Some milk, and pour milk over it, and microwave for 4 minutes.
Okay, so what I do is I get rolled oats, because I can find.
Yep.
And I have milk, cow's milk, and hazelnut milk. The ratios depend on how I'm feeling on the day.
Hazelnut milk, that's interesting.
Yeah. You can try other types of non-dairy milk, and they all work.
Yeah, I tried almond milk once. That wasn't bad.
Coconut milk also works. And I do it on the stove.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I would usually do is I get up in the morning, I put it on the cooker.
Yeah.
Put a wooden spoon over the top, put it on the lowest flame, on the lowest top.
Alright.
And go to the shower, and then come out of the shower and then turn it off. So whilst I'm in the shower, it's cooked very slowly. So the shower time is a slow cook of the whole time. So if it cooks very slowly for 10 minutes, that's fine.
Alright.
And then I usually eat at work, so I pack it away and I put cinnamon and honey, and then seeds. Oh yes, honey is nice on cinnamon, honey, seeds, and a banana. And so when I get to work, I'll heat it up, and I usually add more milk or hot water to heat it up, just like loose, because it will get stodgy. Yeah. And I like my porridge to be gloopy.
Yeah, that's that's the best feeling, like kind of thick thing that you eat.
And so you have to be careful not to put too many oats when you're cooking it, so that it doesn't become stodgy. So I'm like, I don't know, less oat than more. If other people make me porridge, sometimes they put in a lot of oats. Right. So it just means it's just very thick and stodgy, and it's very hard to break up, even if you add water and milk, because it's just a lot of oat in there. Yeah. And if you leave it for a second, it's get hard. But you can do that, and you can mess. What I haven't really explored, which I'm really looking forward to explore, is savoury porridge.
Savoury porridge? What do you mean by savoury? I think other things in it, other than banana,
so
porridge that will be tasty by itself, on its own.
So everything I put is sweet. So banana or honey or seeds, whatever. They all kind of to a sweet side. But a savoury porridge would be having maybe vegetables
bacon
in there,
on porridge.
Yeah, I don't know,
bacon porridge.
Or having spices that make it kind of go down that path.
Go to the salty part.
Yeah, but I love. I have porridge 5 or 6 days a week for breakfast. I've had that since maybe for 15 years now. That was a really long time.
Okay, yeah, that's why I think porridge. Me, it's more a year and a half, something like that. Yeah, not every day, but most days.
And every day, I eat my porridge. I have 2 spoonfuls, and I think to myself, "Damn it, I love porridge."
That's me. I think the closest thing to the porridge that you're describing is the one I get in Starbucks. Like, if you have like a Starbucks, well, in the office, not the office, like the client office in Glasgow, you have a Starbucks not too far, and they have that porridge. I started having that in breakfast. I used to like the veggie wraps at first, then to the porridge. Like, oh, this porridge is pretty good, like pretty big oats as well, and really creamy. It's a really creamy porridge. Like, well,
but you know what?
Milk, and then probably put other things in it. I really like.
It's the ratio. I think you need if it's only milk, it's going to be too rich. So you have to have some water. And even if you can't find the big rolled oats, or you can't afford them because they're obviously more expensive, you can make a nice porridge with like the very basic oats. You can make a nice consistency, but it's just nicer with the bigger oats because you get more bite.
Yeah. Exactly.
But with a very basic oat, you can make. It's all about the water and milk ratio, and it depends on the kind of milk you use. And so obviously I use the hazelnut milk and the full fat, the blue milk, and then a bit of water. But if I'm using semi-skim milk, maybe I'll use less water because it's not got as much fat content.
Yeah, actually, like when I go for the full fat milk, like it's rich to have all the creaminess of the full fat milk. And I wouldn't carry it. Well, I wouldn't put water on top, but that's just different way of being porridge.
So I live with my mum. And she doesn't believe in any other kind of milk other than full fat.
Which is like I wasn't a full. I always had like half fat. What's the word for that?
Semi-skimmed.
Semi-skimmed milk. So I've always been a semi-skimmed milk first, and like as in I grew up eating cereal, so that's the recommended milk to have with cereal, like semi-skimmed. So I always had that.
Is it? I'm just not a cereal person.
No?
Cold fucking milk with cereal.
I don't know what cereal. Some cereal are really nice. Like, wait, you have the Cocoa Pops. Cocoa Pops are really nice.
Cocoa Pops with hot water and hot milk is delicious.
Why do you put water in?
To make it warm.
How about hot milk?
A bit of hot water and a bit of milk makes it hot.
How about just milk?
Cold milk? No. I love Cocoa Pops.
Even hot milk. You can have some warmed up milk. Like that's...
Yeah, great.
Yeah, warm milk and pour it on the
I'm actually a freak. My mum always gave me cereal that was warm. Yeah? Because she was put a bit of hot water and a bit of hot milk. So I had Frosties,
you grew up with like the
Cocoa Pops, all the very sugary cereals with my breakfast.
Yeah.
And always warm. And whenever I go to other people's houses and I would be trying to make it how I made it at home, they were like horrified. They were like, what are you doing? It's absolutely disgusting to put anything hot in this cereal. Because they liked it.
It's not
cold,
the default thing you do with cereal.
Cold and crunchy. But for me...
Yeah, like I mean that's how you enjoy it. Like, even cold and crunchy, like cold and kind of soggy-ish. Like, I guess it depends on the cereal as well. Like the Frosties, I wouldn't have them crunchy. I would have them like really soaked into the milk and like kind of soft. Like, that's a nice feeling. Cocoa Pops, I think I'm a little more crunchy with the milk.
Do you know what I used to have sometimes?
Tell me.
I used to have I used to have Frosties in Coke.
Why did you? What sort of monster would do that? What the hell?
Because it was like fizzy and crunchy.
That is a really weird thing to want to have in your cereal. Like,
because when I was a kid, I had all I drank was Coke and tea.
Okay.
I didn't drink any water.
So you were like, what if I put some Frosties in that?
So it was just combining two of the things I loved.
It's fair. It is fair as in a weird way. Like,
I would serve it in a long tumbler, like a long glass.
What? So that was part of your learning, like. So what did you learn from that?
So it wasn't in a. I didn't serve it in like a cereal
in a bowl, like
it was in a tumbler glass, like a long one.
Yeah.
Where I'd put the cereal and then put the Coke in, because that's obviously where you drink the Coke, in the tumbler. So I thought that was quite interesting. Thinking back now, I'm like, okay, it's interesting. I didn't go to the bowl; I went to the glass.
But did you go back? Have you done that recently?
No, but I think I might.
Oh wow. Okay.
Maybe my next dinner party.
That is a weird thing. Like, I can't imagine something else than milk and cereal. Like,
yeah, and it was crunchy, and it was fizzy. It was like everything that a kid would love. Do you see how I'm smiling? It was like really nice.
Yeah, I see you smiling. Like, wow, you seem really happy about that thing. You seem really happy about that. Like, wow.
Oh my god, the other day. So I remember watching this TV show when I was a kid. And I've since found out there were only 6 episodes of this TV show, so my memory is like really strong. But it must have been just for 6 weeks. So to come home on a Friday and watch this TV show, and then watch another one afterwards. And I was talking about it, and I was really reminiscing about the TV show. And it on BBC, there's one episode. It's called The High Life. If you get bored and you're scrolling through BBC iPlayer, you might find it. Because I was scrolling through BBC iPlayer and I was like, oh my god, there it is. And I put it on and I watched it, and it just made me laugh because, okay, so I watch a lot of camp TV.
All right.
I watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I watch all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm really into it. And so watching this show, the intro is so camp, and I was so funny because I was like, oh, I always loved this. Like, I always loved camp TV. It wasn't just now. It literally was when I was like 10 years old. Yeah. And I didn't know what, like, the jokes are very adult. I don't know why I loved it so much. I don't know what I was getting out of it, but I remember the theme tune. I remember saying to my boyfriend, and when I found it, I put it on, and I just started laughing, and I called him in. I was like, you have to come and see this intro, because this intro, and he was just like, okay. I get it now. You have always loved camp, high camp. I love it.
That's it's kind of funny. Like things like how we are like when we were kids, and now compared to now, like what we like and what we do. Like I love Pokemon when I was a kid. Well, I got Pokemon like on Switch. I haven't finished it because it's like, oh, that's exactly the same as when I was a kid.
Can you finish these things?
Oh, you can well, you can finish the main story thing. Like Pokemon's like you go from that city. I don't know. What's the name in English? Well, I don't know the name in English. I already forgot from the new one. But like, you start from a city, you're a boy who's like got a single mom with him, and he goes in the world of Pokemon to explore and discover more Pokemons for like some old teacher guy, scientist. And you go in, you have to like fight a bunch of people on your way, capture more Pokemons. And in the original game, it was 150 you could get. I think in the new one, it's the same. In that one, that there is like the Pikachu and Eevee versions. So I think it's also 150 or 151.
So wait, is it that you capture all of them and then you're done?
Oh no, it's not even. You don't need to capture all of them to be done. You just need to finish the main story arc. Like story arc is like you go from your house and you have like those arena champions, 8 of them. You need to beat them, but you have a whole bunch of things that happens on your way. Like you have that kind of gang that you're fighting with, some sides like that are on your way trying to enslave Pokemon and at least you're doing what you're doing, but like. Yeah, I don't know why the Rocket Team was illegal, because they're doing the same. They're just catching Pokemon and making money out of it. When you're catching Pokemon to fight against people to get money from that. So
I don't know.
Yeah, but like, and you have that main story arc with those 8 arenas where you have to go, and then sometimes you fight against gangsters, and other times against champions. You get some badges. Once you get those badges, you go and fight the Council of 4.
It sounds like
you beat them. It
sounds like you're saying badges. Do you know what a badge
That's actually badges. Oh no, not badges. Yeah, badges. Yeah, badges. Like the things that you put on yourself to show pride of stuff you've done.
Fighting badges.
Maybe those fighting. Actually, there are stuff that look like fighting badges. There are Pokemon. Like, yeah,
you're fighting badges. Okay.
So you fight for badges, and you get the 8 badges. If you're lucky, you can capture like those. One of those, or all of the 3 legendary Pokemons that are 4 actually. Well, 3 legendary, 1
Pikachu.
Nah, Pikachu ain't shit. He's just.
But that's a legendary one.
He's famous because he's cute, but he's not one of the legendaries. You have. Okay, let me try to see if I know the names in English. Articuno. It's like some flying ice bird. What's the other one? In French, the fire one was Sulfura. But in English, it's like. Yeah, it's probably fire or some shit. Like, I don't know. And there's in French, the other one was called Elector, like Thor. But in English, it's probably Thor something as well. Not sure. Oh yeah, 3 legendary birds. So that was. And then Mewtwo was the other one. Yeah, 3 were birds. Are all the legendary ones. In the original.
What do you call them?
So you had Articuno.
But like, what are they?
Oh, they're like the legendary Pokemons, like the ones that you fight them.
Are they all birds apart from Pikachu?
Yeah,
Pikachu's
not the legendary one.
But is Pikachu a bird?
Nah, it's just like some sort of rat.
Some sort of rat. Okay, are the rest birds?
Yeah. I mean, they're not all birds. Like the legendary ones, they're birds. In the first generation, I think they were birds. Then they were like some sort of wolves or dogs things.
Okay.
And then I think it changes on every version. They did like, now this legendary Pokemon is actually God in the Pokemon world. Okay. And then and this one is actually Satan, but a Pokemon. Okay.
No, that's not nice.
They did a bunch of different Pokemon variations. Like, okay, to me, the only ones that exist are the first generation. Free birds and Mewtwo's like experiment Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Like science gone too far kind of Pokemon.
I literally don't know anything. Do you remember when we were at work and we played that game of guess this theme tune, and someone put on the Pokemon theme tune and they wanted me to guess it, and I was like, I don't know what
I never heard that. But like you really didn't deal with Pokemon at all back in the like. You're not that old. Like you.
Shut up! Don't even say my age.
Yeah, but like you've definitely known Pokemons. Like you
It's
definitely
got
were in
nothing
the
to do with
generation
how
of Pokemon.
old I am. I just had no interest.
You're definitely the Pokemon generation people.
Yeah,
So
great, but I'm just not into it.
Like yeah, like I remember like when I was a kid, I was whole Pokemon. Like yeah.
Yeah, but
I even
you
get
play.
the cards,
You can
I
play
get the-
computer games,
Actually, no, I didn't really play much
And you-
computer games.
and you watch like I don't know. But anyway, not my friend. She I think would probably know what we're talking about because she plays games and likes that kind of shit.
Yeah, but I guess it depends on like what games are like. I haven't played computer games. I didn't play computer games until League of Legends, which is a pretty recent game. But I played Counter Strike a bit, some StarCraft, and that's it. Like I wasn't a big computer game person.
Okay, I didn't play it. I played
But like there's
Street Fighter.
well, we all play Street Fighter. It's kind of cheating to say that, but like
Well, no, I mean that's my
it's a
extent.
game. It's a proper game as
Yeah,
well.
I completed it on the most basic level.
Okay, well that doesn't count. It's the most
Why?
basic level.
No,
Well,
it's still a level.
was it like the normal one, or did you go to the easy mode?
Maybe I went easy.
Oh, shame on you. Okay. I remember, like, I finished Tekken.
Did it
Like, the
twice.
first game I finished was Tekken 3, actually. Like, fishing with all the characters to get all the bonus characters.
Well, you see, you took it too seriously. I just did what I had to do. I did what I had to do to finish it.
You won, you finished the thing. Yeah, that works. Like, Tekken was, actually, I love Tekken.
Taste that. That's like so like full of water.
That is literally water.
Yeah, it's nice
Like,
though.
a couple of drops of whiskey. You may want to add some more in there.
No, I'm like, oh shit.
Oh.
I think
Or
I'm
maybe
okay.
not.
I think I'm okay. Yeah, I think at my level it's
Alright.
suiting me
You
fine.
have the right balance. Like,
Yeah.
whiskey and...
I'm not sure who wants to listen to a podcast where we start off fine and end up slurring at the end.
Yeah, I think it's kind of fine. Like, I mean, there's been a fair amount of listener. I've been surprised. And I'm waiting to have a few more people listening. Well, actually, not a few more people. Like, have more episodes out. Like, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that's the third episode. So maybe after the next episode, I'm gonna like go like, oh, iTunes, here's a podcast for you,
Maybe.
and they're gonna judge you like, okay, that's fine, you can have it.
Okay. So let's big up Rec Room while we're here.
Yeah, Rec Room. So
Yeah.
tell us more about Rec Room.
Okay. So I realise I'm not a very good saleswoman because I never talk about it, but
Really,
It's-
you spoke about it like on BBC One and stuff like that. Was
yeah, but only because they asked me. But so it's really fun. First and foremost, it's just a really fun thing. I've had, loads of people do it now, and literally everyone has come out being like really excited and happy.
Yeah.
And just watching everyone go in there and have like an experience, whether it's like to get rid of anger or whether it's just to have fun, it's really nice for me. But they come out and they're really happy, and I'm really
happy smashing things, which I guess
yeah.
there's some satisfaction in smashing things.
Oh, there's a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah, I mean, say you're pissed off, you want to just go and scream and break things or fuck this thing, fuck this tree. Even if it didn't do anything to you. Like,
It's just really good to get energy out. So some people are sad and they come and they feel better. Some people are just want to have a good time and they come and they have a good time.
yeah.
But it's just really fun, and it's really fun being part of a movement of something that didn't exist before.
Alright, like this as in nothing podcast. That's how we just sit talking. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you actually speaking, you interrupted your own self.
Yes,
But-
I am. Okay, go
But
ahead.
it's fine. But it's really fun, anyway, being part of a movement of a new type of activity that doesn't exist or hasn't existed in the UK, and really goes against our nature. We're very reserved here. We're very kind of bottle everything up and keep it inside.
Yeah.
And when you go into a space where you
Smash
things up, it can be quite personal. And so sometimes I just do it I'm always watching, or someone is always watching, either me, it's my business, or someone else.
Yeah.
And so you're never completely on your own. But the idea that you can let loose, people sometimes in doing that access part of themselves which they have locked away. and they exercise it. They let it out. They let go, as we were talking about before.
Yeah, like embracing the kind of wider side or angry side.
And then they feel better. They feel better because they've let go. But also, it's a physical activity that has purpose, and that is also rewarding. So when your activity is to like break something, smash something, get rid of something, you feel good because you've done it. So it has purpose, but the purpose is twofold: your physical outcome, but also your inside outcome as well.
Yeah.
So it's just really fun, and so I don't know. I feel like people should try it just for that. And when I talk to people about it, sometimes they're like, "Oh my god, that sounds weird."
I think it sounds fun. Like, it sounds like, I should go and smash thing. That's the thing. Like, I need to book a session.
I don't know why you haven't come.
Since I want to come, it's like, oh, that's whole books. And I'm like, okay, to book one for when we move out and bring the desk in.
Yes.
Because we hate that desk. I hate the desk. I don't use it.
Yes.
Like, Jana uses it, but she hates it too. So, like, we're going to go and smash that fucker.
Bring the desk. But you know what happens with desks? So, from my experience, desks don't last very long. So... No.
But we really don't. So I feel like we will take our time to just, tear it to pieces.
Yeah, oh my god, please bring your desk, bring all your other shit that you want to get rid of. And just to say that we don't smash things that are useful, we smash things that are going to the bin.
Yeah, like that is going away. We're not going to say it or anything. Like, nobody's going to, we're going to smash it.
Yeah.
It's going
things that are not useful, we smash them up along the way, and then we obviously try to recycle them or repurpose them.
That's really
use
good,
them for art. Yeah, it's
not
no
just the destruction thing. Like, there's some transformation work going on afterwards.
But destruction is transformation. Part of human life is we have to destroy things to make new things. We can't just accumulate things and keep things. Like people like to hoarding and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the reason why that's actually classified as like a mental illness, because
really?
Yeah, because keeping things, we have like a finite space in the world, in ourselves, and you can't just keep things. You have to transform things. Like if you think about, for example, if you think about my life, my mum moved to the UK and she had me, and I have my life because she transformed her life, right?
Correct.
And if for my children, they will have a different life because I've transformed myself as well. And so that's like, if you think about like lineage in terms of people.
Like chain of transformation that led to different stuff.
But if you think about like an urban space, that has been so many different things. And over time, it has to be built, it has to be used, it has to be broken, it has to be built again. You can't, it has to be, if you have a wardrobe full of clothes, you can't buy new clothes until you get rid of old clothes. Everything always has to be moving and transforming. You can't always stay the same. And when you break something, I really feel like, and I'm no expert in any kind of psychology, but I really feel like it connects to a part of you which is about breaking something in yourself to rebuild something.
Like changing and evolving.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can see some sense in that.
And I didn't know that before I started. I had no idea about any of that. I just thought it'd be fun. And I was like, thought about this. I was like, this is really fun. Get put in a room
and put some music and like just break stuff.
But working with people who've come from many different reasons and watching what they do I can see it's like more than that. And that for me is amazing. I'm like, of all the things I'm proud of, one of them is like driving my van, which I love. And other is that helping people have a transformative experience like that is so beautiful, and I love that.
That's
and so,
cool.
If anything, I'm like, if you want to have just a real experience, if you're bored and you're like, right, what the fuck am I doing? Come and fucking break some shit and have an experience. That will mean something to you.
It does sound like fun. Do you know people that put face of people they don't like, or like stuff they have to break? Or
people often say they want to do this, but they never actually do. If they want to, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
within reason. There are rules, but there are rules. But if they want to do that, they could. Yeah.
I'm gonna put the print of the US face on the thing and just smash it around and like, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess as long as they bring the picture to them, so that you don't have to do it yourself.
Well, sometimes people come along and they say, "I'm going to think about this person from work," and I'm like, "Okay." And
okay,
then
just don't do it in real life. Don't go.
No, but then they say that, and then they fucking go for it in there, and I'm like, "Oh, you really are thinking about the person they work." And then they come out and they're like trembling. They're like, "Oh my god, I feel so great." But it's out. It's gone. You know.
Which is good. They won't actually murder someone.
Exactly.
So that's
just murder that piece of cockery.
Yeah. Alright, so what is it? Actually, it sounds like a fun experience, and I need to come before the year ends. Well, I've seen there's some room in August.
Yes.
So I need to get one of these. Hopefully I'm going to be moving around that time so I can have the desk and just smash that fucker.
But also you can, if you want to, like, people do approach me for bespoke events.
Alright.
So if you want to have like a hen party or stag do, we can book those separately. So I do those separately,
Okay, also that's separate from the bookings you have on the website. So yes, this website, like, it's recroom.co.uk.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I almost missed it. I almost say like .com, like co.uk.
Rec with a W.
Like wrecking, like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so you have the website and you have an Instagram as well for the Rec Room.
Yeah, Rec Room UK is the Instagram, and we have a Facebook page. We also have a Twitter. Well, I don't ever do Twitter because I don't care about Twitter.
Yeah, like actually Twitter is like a hard thing to get followers as companies. But I built some apps and I created Twitter for them. Or even like for the podcast, I created a Twitter. But I just don't do anything with it. I leave it there. Like,
do you use Twitter? I don't use it personally, and therefore I don't know about it or care. It just seems like Twitter actually is a very horrible place for people just actually spewing hatred and nonsense.
Oh yeah, it's kind of.
And I kind of just stay away from it.
Like I go to Twitter to feel better about myself when I see like, oh, there's some drama going on. I look at Twitter to myself now. I see some cool stuff like, oh, Avengers, my past Avatar as like the most highest grossing movie of all time. Yeah.
Avatar, is it? Still?
Yeah, Avatar that's crazy. Like,
I haven't even seen it.
They have like $2.78 billion.
I've seen half
I
of
haven't
it.
seen it either. I'm like, well,
should we see it?
See the blue people having sex with their hair. That's all I know about it.
I want to see it in 3D, and I missed it at the time because I had no interest.
That's the thing. A lot of people are saying that the only reason that they are that far ahead of everyone because they were actually the second was like 1 billion ahead of the 1 billion ahead of the second. Now Avengers Endgame is catching up. Is getting like I think they're like 200 million behind them. But still, that's...
Is that 3D?
No. Well, you can watch it in 3D, but it's not the focus of it.
I think the reason...
all about the 3D.
I think that's why it was,
It was like just the gimmick.
But I had no interest. At the time, I was like, I have no interest.
Yeah, I thought, oh, that'd be cool to see it, but I didn't go to see it. No. And then I saw it on the TV, like, okay, that's kind of a shit movie with a shit story. Like, they just have sex with their hair, and that's it. Like,
I didn't see. I watched half of it where they were like getting in the pod and running because he couldn't run, and I didn't watch the end because it was boring.
Yeah,
I didn't get to the hair sex.
Interesting movie. I'm like, wait, did people actually go and watch it again? That's what's puzzling me. Like, because to have so much earnings for that movie, you need to have people who go to see it again and again. It's not just a one-time thing. Like, people really like the hair sex thing. That could be the thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, having your long hair and just like, oh yeah, that is weird.
I need to Google that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's like, why is it like people fencing Simba to an extent? I'm just
I think it's totally different. I'm not sure, but I think it is totally different. Because Simba was like a humanized character, and hair sex is just hair sex.
Pretty humanized character.
And they didn't want to have sex with Simba. They just liked him. They just fancied him as like kids fancy people. That's totally different. Come on.
Like kids fancy people a certain way until they grow up, and then fancy them a different way. So I don't know if it changes that much
also,
along
like,
the way.
boys are gross as well.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, I mean, that's why if you fancy Simba as a kid, I still find it weird. I still can't wrap my head around that. Like.
Yeah, but maybe
it's a lion. It's a baby lion.
Yeah, no.
So like,
he was like a teenager. After a while,
he was like 3-year-old easily. That makes it so much worse.
No, when he was like tootling around with Timon.
Yeah, like Hakuna Matata. He was definitely not more than 6 years.
No, he's a teenager.
Well, maybe in lion years. But
yeah, exactly.
In years,
no,
he's like 6-year-old.
But in lion years, he was already like grown up enough to like.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Still weird. Like I mean, I still find it weird.
Anyway.
Simba. I'm actually getting the movie images in my head. Like, yeah. Maybe like the singing thing. Like, yeah.
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, that's Simba.
I love
actually,
that bit.
They made some. Actually, no, the sequels do not exist. I don't know that there's sequels.
I think there's Lion King too.
No, it doesn't exist.
I think it does.
I refuse it to exist. I reject this thing. This does not exist. It's like, what's the name? It's like, some people say that the Star Wars prequel don't exist, but to me they're actually proper movie. Lion King 2 is not a movie. Lion King 2 is not a thing you should watch.
You seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. Well, I mean, I would have seen it if it existed, which I did not because it doesn't exist. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It does not. It's not a real movie. It's a fantasy movie.
Oh,
some kids made a thing.
Simba's Pride.
Yeah, it's not a real movie. It's just some fan fiction.
I don't know.
Bad fan fiction. Do not watch it. Like, that's what I'd say if it existed. But it does not. So yeah, no, Lion King. Yeah, Lion King is a great movie. Like, it's a shame there was no sequel for it. What other great movies? So we're actually talking about the musicals. So yeah, musical. There's one that I need to see. Is like Book of Mormon. I heard about it so much.
Oh, I've seen that.
Everyone's. How was it?
Yeah, it was good. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's so funny! It's so funny! Oh my god, it is so funny!" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, it was funny, but it wasn't like as funny as they had made out." Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, so I need to watch it, but like with a clear mind and low expectations.
So Dreamgirls was good. And the song that everyone like goes for.
Yeah.
Is Listen. That song was the actress was amazing. Everyone cried. It was like really, really powerful.
Oh really?
Yeah. Just before the interval, it was a very amazing part of the musical. That was really good. But Hamilton's just so far and away, like much better.
Hamilton was so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I loved all of it. Like the introduction of George Washington, like with the Rag and Man song.
When did you see it?
I saw it a couple of months ago, actually.
This year?
Yeah, this year.
Okay. So I saw it in December, and I think they changed a couple of characters before that, so I was wondering if you'd seen the older ones, because I'd just seen these ones and I thought they were amazing.
I saw it like pretty recently. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story as well. Like, there was some rapping that was really fast, so I didn't get the whole thing. I could get like the content, what was going on. So now I really listened to the album on Spotify. Okay, I'm getting all of this, and I really enjoy it even more. And I feel like I should go and watch it again to enjoy it.
Do you have? Because before I went, I hadn't heard any of the music or seen anything, so I went in very, very like knowing nothing. Do you have good speakers here? Because what we could do is when we finish this, we could just put it on and dance.
I if you could like get that Google thing there, like get the Spotify account.
Okay, I need to have a pause again.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's have a little break, and then we get back on. Oh god, 2 hours and a half. What the? All right. And we are back again. So, what were we saying before that break?
I don't know. But I think it was really profound and important.
Yes, definitely was.
Yeah.
Like, which is why we don't remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those
it was so profound. It just went.
Yeah, those since that. I've now transitioned into thinking about my next meal.
Yes, meals are important.
Yeah, meals are important. Meals are life.
So you're gonna have that platter of seafood with.
I don't think I'm having that this evening. I do try to have a seafood platter fairly often.
Oh, fairly often. That sounds like often. Well, often, obviously often.
Yeah.
Like, how fairly often you'd say?
Well, I guess in the summer more than the winter. But, you know, like...
Sounds like a better season.
I don't know, like every couple of months. You know, fairly often I have, like...
Okay, so it's like a reasonable often.
Yeah, because I love it, and I'm not going to wait until my deathbed to enjoy the things I love. When they, like, food things. Which
makes sense. You don't want to wait and say, oh, I'm going to die tomorrow, so I should probably start doing things I didn't do my whole life. Yeah.
You know, obviously, but then... The things that I love to eat, I don't love KFC and McDonald's. I love, like... a seafood platter and some steak and like some vegetables. So if I have that, you know, who cares?
Yeah, no, it works out well.
And I love variety of food and delicious food and home cooked food and real food. So,
like trying different kind of foods.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
You don't want to eat the same, like that's when, even if you really like what you're eating, if you eat the same mac and cheese from your mom like for 10 years every day, you're gonna start eating it.
I mean, there were some years where I had it like twice or once, and that's enough. But there's a lot of mac and cheese now on menus, and I'm highly critical because it's like
you have a higher standard than what you get served.
So I don't just have any old mac and cheese, and I always question how they make it and see if it's gonna be good. I'm not really into lobster mac and cheese. I know everyone loves
lobster
it.
Mac and cheese. Yeah. What the?
I just have lobster on its own and have mac and cheese on its own. I don't mix them together. It doesn't make it better.
But you do mix Coke and Coke Pops. So,
and Frosties.
And
Frosties. I'm gonna try and do that this weekend. And see if it's still good. I'm sure it's like a hidden
Is he gonna love it?
But every time I say it, I'm like smiling.
Yeah, that's the thing I feel. Oh wow, you're actually gonna enjoy this.
I just remember being a kid and doing in the kitchen and being like, oh, this is great. But my mum would just go off and leave me, so I'd be like making all sorts of things.
Like, nah, yeah, let's just jump in there. Like,
I went through a phase of eating butter just on its own.
wow, okay, that's why. Like butter will, like, if you get some nice baguette or bread of any sort, spread butter on it just by itself, like, perfectly fine with that. I actually do that, like, sometimes at the, like, get this airport where you get a bunch of you can just pick up and stuff. So, like, usually I get scones, but when there's no scones, like, I'm gonna get some bread and get some butter on it, and that's it. Not butter. The very gin tonic on the side, and yeah.
What I've rediscovered recently are English muffins. English muffins are really good. Like basically not like
You know, those Magnol's thing, like Magnol's, like the Magnol's, like that's why it's called the sort of the same muffins.
Yeah, the
like
savoury
the flat
muffins
thing.
that you put things in. So this morning I had an English muffin, I had 2, and the muffin had it was a Sainsbury's, it tasted different one, and it had cheddar and black pepper.
Oh.
And I put in there bacon and fried onions and peppers.
Oh right, so it does sound way tastier than I was picturing.
It was really good, and I had 2 of those and some fried plantain.
Oh. I need to have plantain. It's been so long they haven't had it.
Oh my god, it's like my life source. If I stopped eating it, I would cease to exist.
Yeah, it's been like easily a month that you have any plantain.
Oh, you gotta
It's
get
some
it,
more.
yeah.
Yeah, it's much better. Like it's.
You know what?
It's one of these foods that are really nice and that people don't necessarily know about.
Yeah. Living at home means I have it every week, but when I didn't live at home, I would like you have it maybe like every whenever because you have to go to the shop.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's going and we have a market just here, so I could go and get it. It's just I didn't think about it. Like,
but see, if there's no shop near you, that you walk past when they are selling it, then you won't go. So, for example, at home, there are shops near me, but I don't go anywhere near those shops. They're like maybe 5-10 minutes away, but they're in a different part of whatever.
Yeah.
I don't go past them. And so to go past them, I'd have to go there on like a weekend. And my weekends, I just kind of have other
don't
things to
go
do.
there. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's unlikely, even though they're very close, because I don't spend a lot of time. So I live in like no man's land in West London, and I don't spend much time just there. I'm either there like weekdays, come back from work, or on the weekend I'm up, do a bit of stuff around the house, do a bit of shopping, and then I'm just like out and then back probably like late Sunday or Monday. So that I can understand why you might not buy them, but they are cheap and they're delicious. Plantain, it's cheap and delicious. And it's good for you.
It's really easy to make as well. You can boil it, you can fry it,
you can roast it, you can do anything. It's just such a good life.
You can even like kind of barbecue, like you leave it whole. You don't open it. You put it on barbecue, and then you just slice it open.
Oh,
it works so well with your chicken.
Oh god,
that's good shit.
Yeah, fuck. I think for my last meal, I wanna. Do you know flaming mangal in
flaming mangal like. Mangal means barbecue. Sure, so it's some barbecue thing. God,
they have this mixed grill. Fucking hell, that mixed grill is good.
Yeah?
Oh my god, it's so good. They have everything on there. They have lamb. Oh god, it's so good. It's actually so delicious. And I challenge anyone who likes eating meat to not enjoy that fucking mixed grill.
Wow, okay. That's a hell of a sell for that.
Okay, let's go one time.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So you said Peckham, so it's not too far.
Yeah, let's go.
Alright, let's do that.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah. I'd say more like tomorrow because then I'm so gone. I'm gonna be gone for most of the next months.
I'm going to the seaside.
Oh yes you are. So yeah, it's pretty July. That's more of a July plan.
Where are you going in June?
So next week I'm going to Manchester.
Okay.
For the weekend I'm going to see the Spice Girls. That was like yeah, it's Jazz's birthday present, so we're going there.
That's so fun. I'm going to see them in June in London.
I want to see them in London, but we're on holiday then. So, okay. Oh, surprise! You're going to see them anyways. And,
epic. I guess it's so good.
Yeah, and the week after, well, Aruba. So.
Oh.
Yeah, and we don't come back for the end of June, so that's. Well, we come back on the 22nd, 21st. Yeah, then that gives me 1 weekend.
Okay, in July, should we go for this mixed grill?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's just jump into it and try some of that.
We'll go on a Friday.
Alright, works.
After work.
After work Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I work from home, so yeah, that's fine.
Perfect.
Cool.
Okay.
So it's set.
Yeah.
Last Friday of June. Some mixed green.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for that.
And you can report back on the podcast.
Yeah, I can do that. Like we can actually have a follow-up episode, like to talk about how good the grill was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like about, I feel like I could have spoken more about food in this podcast because I actually love food so much.
You can do that, like necessarily join me, like just talk about food and stuff. And,
yeah.
That's the fun thing. Like when you don't really put like a limit to what you want to talk about, you can just go to anything. Like talk about politics at the beginning with like the abortion thing, and just jump into food or like personal development, all these things. So yeah, you can literally talk about anything you want. Like the main focus is that okay, your people, there's drink, and we say words. So
I actually, this has been so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so fun because it's just, it really is just drinks. There they are.
Yeah.
And us, and we're just talking.
Exactly. Just regular conversation.
Yeah.
Today happens to be recorded. And yeah.
It might be quite cringy to listen to.
It might be. I tend to listen to them a couple of times before I release them. So I'm going to listen 2 times to that. 2 hours and 40 minutes. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a lot of
obviously
listening to do.
you will have to edit this because it's just obviously too long. But it's been really fun.
Pretty long, but yeah, it was really fun to do. Like,
I'm really happy to be part of your new podcast. It's my first ever podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Welcome to the podcast world.
Thank you. I'm really excited and happy.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like, I really enjoy doing that thing. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
All right, so it's time to wrap up, guys. So that was People Drink Words, the podcast where we drink words, but not only. I was Joyce Peters joining me for this episode of 2 hours 40, if I don't edit any of that. And yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Any last words, any shout out, any Instagram or Facebook you want to throw in?
Thank you for having me. I've got to go to a dinner with people I don't know. I'm actually drunk, so I don't know what's going to happen.
This is going to be fun.
Good luck.
Get some more whiskey on your way.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to enjoy me right now. But thank you for having me. And yeah, if anyone wants to find out more about Rec Room, Google Rec Room, you'll find us. We come up first, or Rec Room UK. Yeah, it's very good. I am in marketing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Google us. Find us on Instagram, Rec Room UK. Find us on Facebook, Rec Room UK. And on Twitter, you can ask questions and I'll answer, but I don't really tweet because I don't care about Twitter. And yeah, it's been really fun. Thank you.
I'll share the links on the website at some point. And yeah, you can also jump in there to check it out. And all right, bye bye.